Hey, so what's going on, people? As the name of this would imply, I'm gonna sit here, maybe all night, maybe not, we'll see, and watch AEW All Out 2021. So the card looks pretty good. I mean, there's some things in there that I'm not so sure about or whatever, but ultimately, I mean, I'm looking forward to it overall. Just a matter of seeing how good it's going to be in the places where you expect it to be good. And maybe those other places might be a little surprising. We'll see what happens. But and if you're not like a wrestling person or whatever, I mean, you can throw some questions out there, ask me about other things if you want to. I don't really care. Either way, I'm gonna be here on the live, so may as well make it interesting. Talk to some people and whatnot, and leave a comment in there. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the comments. I think I just made a video about that. If you saw it, you saw it. If you didn't, you didn't. If you didn't, you'll be fine because it may not really pertain to you. But so first up, right? This Miro guy, like, I wasn't a huge fan of what was going on initially when he was doing like the video game thing and all that stuff. But things have taken a turn to where I like what's going on here. It's like they had to build up. You didn't know? Oh yeah, dude. Like Iowa is deep in Canada. I guess you didn't know that. You should work on your geography and stuff. Like it's right there, like right in the center. But no, seriously though, I'm obviously not Canadian. Well, I won't say obviously, but I'm not. Anyone who's known me for a while is aware of that. I'm very much from America, North America, the United States, to be specific. I've been to Canada before. Went to Toronto. Went to Newfoundland. No, not Newfoundland. What's the other? Vancouver. I don't know where I was thinking Newfoundland, but yes, went to Vancouver once. Pretty nice up there. What about you? Where are you from? And while you're thinking about if you want to answer that or not, yeah, I'd be saying things like "a" and drinking maple syrup right from the bottle, probably. I don't know what Canadians are really known for, but I'd be playing hockey, maybe. I think that's the Canadian thing, right? I'd be very nice. I hear they're a nice bunch up there in Canada. What else? I don't know. I'd have a Raptors jersey on. Let's see. And he says he's from New York. I went to New York once, and it was years ago. It was like what 2007. It was a good time though. You know, we lost one of our friends from the group in the city, and just happened to find him later. It was before the time of everybody having like phones and stuff, which made it like, okay, this guy's gone. He's as good as dead. We may as well just cut our losses and just move on. And that's kind of what happened. But then he showed up and went, oh, okay. So let's act like we were looking for him. And you say Athens, like Athens, Georgia? I think that's where I've heard Athens before. I lived in Georgia at some point, but hopefully you are talking about Georgia because otherwise this will be completely irrelevant. I lived down in the southwestern side, like near Macon, Georgia. Looks like I lost a draw. What was that for? Oh, the Yeezy slides. There's some Yeezy slide raffles going on. And of course, I put in, Athens, Greece. Okay. I have not been to Greece. I don't think so. Have I? Wait. I'm going to say no. I feel like if I did, I would remember it. Because there were some places that I've been overseas, right? But I'm pretty sure that was not one of them. I'm like 100.0% sure that it was not one of them. I was thinking it was at first, but then I started to think, and I'm like, no, that can't be right. Bro, I was watching videos, never leave a comment for the video. Well, you should leave comments. I mean, that's how people know that you're watching stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, right? Before I started doing this whole YouTube thing for myself, like, I didn't really leave much comments because I honestly just didn't care to talk to the people that I was watching, right? Because they were all super famous, and so me getting a reply was unlikely. But me, I'm not super famous, so you getting a reply is pretty likely, unless your comment is stupid, in which case it probably won't get a reply. But yeah, I mean, if you feel like the person you watch is worth talking to, go ahead and leave a comment. If you think that the video they created is worth saying something about, go ahead and leave a comment. If you think it's just god awful, they don't know that until you go ahead and leave a comment. It's important. Let's see, you're missing out, honestly. I mean, for the culture in the islands. No, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not gonna act like I haven't been there because I don't want to go there. It seems like a pretty all right place. I believe Chris Angel is from Greece, but I just haven't been there because I think the problem was that when I started like traveling and stuff, I started like when I didn't have a lot of time to really make as many trips as I wanted to. So that was one that just didn't happen. There was something else, somewhere else I wanted to go that I didn't. There are a lot of places, honestly, but I made it to like Prague and I made it to a lot of places around the UK. Went to Oslo, France, Rome, right? Russia, well, Moscow and St. Petersburg, Hong Kong, right? So I made it to a few places. I just didn't get to all of them that I wanted to get to. So it kind of sucks, but I mean, it's still there, so I can still go. It's just, I don't know when that'll happen because traveling right now is just kind of not really the best idea. Let's see. I'm the one that think the Jordan 6 model is. Oh, okay, that's you, the Jordan 6 guy. Okay, now I remember. The guy, you're the one that always has the Walmart pictures, right? From the figure hunting. Yeah, yeah. I was out at Walmart earlier, and it was underwhelming. Would be the generous way to put it. Let's see, and democracy. Yeah, that's a pretty. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, I'm thankful for the fact that I've been able to see some things, right? Because I have a lot of friends and family that have seen like the state that they live in and maybe the state next to it, So I can't really complain. But at the same time, I'm not going to be complacent because there is a lot of stuff out there, and a lot of it is totally worth seeing. Sometimes I see like those nature channel things or documentaries. I watch a lot of animal documentaries. I'm like, man, this place looks cool. Let's see. But yeah, so what all do you guys really? It sounds like a stupid question as I'm about to say it, but so what all do you guys really get into over there? Like, what are some of the big things in like your little area? So like for me, like being over here near like Virginia Beach and stuff, not Winnipeg, Canada. There's the beach, right? That's the big thing, of course, mostly for the tourists. It seems like the people that actually live here don't care about the beach. And then there's a lot of music stuff that happens around here, like shows and things like that. So that gets a fair amount of attention. Local bands, then like the bigger touring bands, Judas Priest is going to be here, I think Thursday, maybe Wednesday. Let's see. Love your pro wrestling crate unboxing video. Oh, appreciate that. I know like that appeals to a small group of my overall fan base. Well, I won't say fan base, but subscribers and such. But I do appreciate when people watch like the figure unboxings and the wrestling unboxings because like honestly, I'm a way bigger fan of that stuff than of shoes. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say like shoes are stupid or something, but like I would rather have a conversation about why Eddie Kingston should win or why Miro should win this match rather than like, oh, which Jordan 3 do you think is gonna be the best one this weekend? Like, I don't care. Honestly. Let's see. It says I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. They have a lot of man, if I was in Jacksonville, I would be at would have been at all of those all elite wrestling shows like last year or earlier this year when they were only doing them there, because that would have been pretty cool. Well, maybe not all of them because it probably would have got old, but I would have gone to a number of them. Well, I can at least commit to that. Let's see, you put me on Chick-fil-A about a year. Like it's crazy because like Chick-fil-A, like on Twitter, just happened to follow me, and then I was like, "That's a cool name. I want to see more of this." And so then I clicked and explored a little bit. And like, oh, it's a Patreon thing. So I joined the Patreon just because, and so it's pretty cool. I don't really do any of the stuff. Like I don't really partake in many of the Patreon activities or festivities, but yeah, I feel good about giving them a couple dollars a month. So let's see. You remind me of Lil Yachty. He made a song called Broccoli and then stated in an interview that he doesn't eat vegetables. Broccoli is one of the few vegetables I'm cool with. Most of them, not a fan. I don't know who Lil Yachty is, though. I've heard the name, but I don't know who he is. Let's see. Music for sure, big and smaller bands. COVID ruined. Yeah, of course it did. Hanging out in ancient ruins. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so that sounds like a pretty good life, honestly. Like ooh, when I went to Hong Kong, that was one of the things we did, like the island hopping or whatever, because there were these islands. Well, I guess it's all islands, right? But there were these islands where we went hiking, and it was me, a friend I knew from like, years ago, and his old roommate or something. I don't know, but they were like, "Oh yeah, hey, we know these Norwegians, and they're gonna take us down this trail." So we just went and followed these random Norwegians. Because I'm thinking like, "Oh, so they know the trail, like they're gonna guide us and stuff." No, they just knew where the trail was and where it was supposed to end. We were out there hiking. Well, it wasn't like a crazy hike, but it was through hills and valleys and all stuff across islands from like I don't know. It was probably like a good 6 to 8 hours that we were walking just so we could go to some Moroccan restaurant. And I was like, this was not the best use of my time. It was fun, but I could have done without. But yeah, what kind of music do you listen to, Damien Bell? Let's see. How many bands, how wrestling put you on? Wait, what? How many bands, how wrestling put you on? I need you to restate that question. Are you a fan of wrestler Daphne? So sad she passed. Rest in peace. That was, I kind of forget about some people. I'm not gonna lie, right? Because I remember her when she was doing something with Raven or Vampiro. Like, she was like somebody's sister. I think she was playing like Raven's sister while he was feuding with Vampiro. I don't know. This was in the WCW days, obviously. But so when I saw that she passed away, I was like, "Oh man, that's unfortunate." Because at first I just saw the news, I didn't see the details, and then like still didn't look into everything, but you can kind of piece it together for yourself. So when I started to see all that, I'm like, "Man, that really sucks," because it's like it's totally preventable, right? I mean, you talk to some people and kind of see where their head is, help them out with some things or whatever. You can kind of avoid all that stuff. So yeah, I didn't really know her. And I never really followed her career or anything, but I did feel bad for her. I mean, who wouldn't, right? Let's see. How many bands have wrestling put you on to? Well, none. Like, none whatsoever. Like, bands don't, I mean, wrestling doesn't like really introduce me to music. That has never happened, honestly. I've never seen like been watching wrestling and been like, oh man, who wonder who this Kid Rock guy is? I should look him up. That has never happened. I know about the bands and stuff before this. I mean, I might find out that somebody has a new song by watching wrestling, and I'll be like, oh, there's a new song by Muse out, and then I'll like maybe look into it. But yeah, I don't think anybody has like really pulled me in like in that way. Ready to Rumble was, I never saw Ready to Rumble. It seemed like something that I would have watched, because like given the time it came out and all that stuff, but somehow it just didn't happen. Let's see. I listen to rock, metal, certain genres, electronic music. All right, so not just yeah, and that's good. You got to have like a nice variety. So like one of the things that I did really like about my little making the rounds overseas and stuff, I went to the Reading Festival. It's spelled like reading. It's the Reading Festival over in Reading, England, right? I also went to Download over there, but both of those had like crazy lineups for diversity, right? Because I could go there and I could see like Paramore and I could see Queens of the Stone Age and Churches and D Antwoord and Jimmy Eat World and like all these crazy different bands all in one weekend. It was awesome, man. I saw who played that one of those weekends was Aerosmith, right? And that was cool being able to finally see that live. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of different types of stuff too. I don't really see a lot of electronic music though. I think I've only seen, let's see, I saw William Control a couple times. That's electronic-ish. Um, I wouldn't mind seeing Black Audio. That's got a little electronic vibe to it. I've seen Prodigy, right? Yeah, I saw Prodigy before. There's somebody else that I saw. What was it? I can't even think of who it was. Like, I just remember being somewhere where there was a lot of electronic things going on. Who was that? I don't know. Let's see. What am I missing here? What do I think of the new NXT logo? I don't know what to make of that, honestly. It's like it seems out of place. I mean, a lot of logos at first will look out of place, because it's new, right? It's not what you expect. But man, I see it now and I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but I don't think I like it. I can't, I'm not going to sit here and say I hate it because it's not that serious, but I don't know. What was like the reasoning? Do you happen to know the reasoning behind why they changed it to that? Because maybe, and sometimes like knowing the story of like why something is what it is kind of helps make it make sense. So if you happen to have some sort of insight, that'd be fantastic. Let's see. See Ammon Tobin live. I have to search for that because otherwise I will forget. So let's see what all that's about. But I'll come back to it though, so I don't get too distracted from trying to watch this. Prodigy live is phenomenal. Yeah, I saw Prodigy at Riot Fest 2015 in Chicago. Yeah, Riot Fest 2015 Chicago. So stopped making music 10 years ago and now just makes random noise. Probably works better in live. Yeah, some people do that. It's kind of, I mean, I get it, like they don't really make new stuff, but they kind of put something out there once in a while. Kind of, it'll trigger some nostalgia once in a while. I saw that ABBA is going back on tour for the first time in like 40 years. So I don't know what sparked that to happen. I didn't even know they had really stopped touring, but they did. So are you kidding? In response to what? You say, am I kidding? So a lot of people are aware that there is a slight delay between when I say stuff and when you hear it, somewhere between like 7 to 10 seconds, I think, on the low end. Sometimes it can be a little longer. So I might say something and then many seconds pass, then you hear it, and then you spend however many seconds typing. So I'm not sure what you're asking about my kidding about or whatever. So yeah, it's kind of one of the things that kind of sucks about this thing, but there's no way you can really fix that, Let's see, he keeps making new stuff and breaking boundaries. If that's noise, don't know what's. Oh, okay, you're smart. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, and that's the thing. Sometimes you just take things the wrong way. No big deal. So John Moxley and the Japanese guy. I don't remember his name. I'm not trying to be offensive or whatever, but I'm not a. Don't get me wrong. I like New Japan. I respect what they're doing, and I will watch it once in a while. I get charged every month for a New Japan World subscription, but I don't watch it enough to be totally in the know. So this guy might be like one of those he was famous for a long time dudes. That's what I'm thinking is going on here, but I honestly don't know. But it's probably going to be a pretty hard-hitting match, so there is that. Let's see. Where was I? He keeps making this. I just want to look up Sam. Start off doing that. Yeah, but that's the thing, like, because there are some things that I do like, I never really Tycho. That's what I was thinking of. I've seen them once, right? Yeah. And like seeing that, it's cool because like I have some of their albums, but some of the stuff they played, I don't know if it was just, noise, for lack of a better way to put it, but I didn't recognize all of it. And what sucks is like there's no words, so you can't like look it up. You just have to accept the fact that there's a song that they just created and you like it, and you may never hear it again because you don't know how to find it. So, because like I said, it might be unreleased. Let's see. Why are wrestling fans either muscular or super fat? That's yeah, there's not a lot of middle ground, dude. Like I see it all the time. I've been to a couple events, right? I'm into some like Raw, SmackDown type things, been to some like WrestleMania pay-per-view type things. So I've seen the gamut. And yeah, it tends to be one end of the spectrum. One or the other, I should say. So I don't know what the deal is with that, It's like it's just a thing you don't see. Unless it's like one of those like outskirts fans who's like, yeah, I'm here with my buddies. I used to watch wrestling when I was younger, but they said to come on over, so here I am. Let's see. You like my hair? Okay. Thanks. I think it's fine too, it's strange. Like my mom often compliments that. But like it'll be at weird times. Like you and your nice hair. I'm like, what? Like, what? But apparently it's been a thing since I was like a small person. Let's see. I mean, if anybody wants to happen to jump in here and talk about whatever, you're welcome to. I'll put the link in here. Where's the link? There we go. That should be it. Because I'm pretty welcoming to like people joining if they want to jump in and talk about stuff. Maybe kind of mitigate that whole delay thing. But I get it. Some people also just don't want to be on the internet in that way. But I mean, you can do it without turning your camera on or whatever. Whatever your preference is. But so yeah, so far this match is not like, I don't know. I think you got to be in a certain mindset to want to see this or to appreciate it. But it's not terrible. It's just not really making me care a lot. Let's see. Like here, seen everything, man. He's one of my top 3 artists. Huh. And then he keeps putting out music, 5 different aliases. Somebody else, there was some band I saw that did something like that. I'm like, just stop being difficult, Like, yeah, we're gonna put this music out, then we're gonna do this music, and it's like a lot. I get when bands will make like a side project because it's different enough that it doesn't belong. I don't know if anybody out there is an Alkaline Trio fan, but Matt Skiba, singer of Alkaline Trio, main singer, guitarist, he has a side band called Matt Skiba and the Secrets, I believe it is. I forget who else is in that one, but that stuff on that album, it doesn't quite fit the Alkaline Trio sound, right? So it makes sense. But then I've heard some stuff, and I'm like, I don't know that you needed a side project for this, like other bands. So maybe it just made sense in the moment. Let's see, you'll be eating dinner and complimenting about your yeah, see, Jeezy knows. But it's crazy because like I forget what we were doing. Like I think it was when she was up here last and we were about to go on our little nature walk or whatever. And I was just like getting ready and she's just standing there staring at me. It's like, man, your hair looks really good today. I'm like, thanks. So he literally put his music from the past 10 years and vibe to it. It's unlistenable to me. Okay. You know, I've never heard a Kanye West album. I don't know that I've even heard a Kanye West song. I've heard his part on, well, I've heard the whole thing, but Extraterrestrial by Katy Perry. I listen to that, not regularly, but I do like it. His part on there is mostly ridiculous, and that entertains me. But I've never had any drive whatsoever to listen to Kanye West music. I've heard some good things about certain eras of it or whatever. I don't know if it's all good or if people are like, oh, listen to like this album or that album, but some people have said some good things about something. But it's just because my normal, what I listen to is not that, I kind of just don't care, you know? Let's see. Chester from Lincoln Park had. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying, you know? Sometimes, and I think sometimes it's just people just want to, are just trying to distance themselves from something, you know? So their fans don't go in there just expecting, like, oh, why doesn't this sound like this? It's like, because when a band puts out something and has a slightly different sound, then it's never okay, right? It's like, oh my God, like, make more Ixnay on the Ombre. We don't want to hear this. It's like, whatever, dude. But I got to see Lincoln Park once. It was, I want to say it wasn't that long before that came to an end because they were doing the, let's see, it would have been the 15-year anniversary for Hybrid Theory, right? Pretty sure that's what it was. So that was I think that was at the Download Festival, the one in England. You know, so I like those things. Like they play the album like front to back, you know, so you get to hear all the stuff you want to hear. Because I was never like a big Linkin Park fan, I only liked that album. So given that I knew that I was going to be able to go there and they were just going to play that, I couldn't complain. Not everything is meant to vibe. Do all the movies you watch make you laugh? Yeah, that is a straight up fact what you just said there, Damien. Because like everything affects the person watching it or listening to it different. You know, puts you in the. Sometimes you know what you're doing, like you put on something that's gonna match whatever mood you're in, or maybe you put on something because you can count on it to like pick you up, right? Because I know I have like my things like before I go on lives. I think I've said before I listen to a lot of. I'll usually listen to a lot of like punk rock type things, you know. Sometimes the pop punk too, you know, like some Millencolin or stuff like that, or maybe Anti-Flag, Bad Religion. But sometimes, you know, little all-time low is what you want, and then it just kind of gets me in the right mindset. I don't know why, but that's just a thing that I do. So it is what it is, though. You know, again, different preferences for different people. But let's see what else. So, but what else is on you guys' mind? Because again, I'm just kind of sitting here, you know, hanging out with you guys, talk to you about whatever you feel like. Smashing Pumpkins. So that's a band that I feel like I would have liked, but I missed. Well, because when I was younger is when they were popular, right? So I mean, I guess that's true of anybody to say that about the Smashing Pumpkins. But in eighth grade, they were very popular. So for me, eighth grade was like 95, 96, I think. And so around that time, that they were a big thing, you know. But I didn't really get a lot of music back then because you know I didn't really have money to get a lot of music, and streaming wasn't a thing. But I feel like if you know, Smashing Pumpkins came around in like 2005ish when I was like really getting into more things and able to get more stuff, yeah, I feel like I would have been a pretty good fan of them because what I hear I do like, but I just kind of missed it in its heyday. Let's see. Exactly, a soundtrack is not meant to listen to on its own. It complements. Yeah, yeah. Soundtracks can like. I mean, I like certain soundtracks on their own, right? You know, they can just stand there and just be, right? But there are times when it's the soundtrack to something, right? As the name would imply. So, like when you listen to, man, what was the I don't know, like when you're listening to like look at like the soundtrack of what was that, like Whiplash, that goes with that because it's what it is. But when I listen to like the soundtrack for Friday, like the movie Friday, like that's just a good album, right? It just has a lot of good songs on it. It's kind of, and it does kind of match up with the theme of the movie in that you're just kind of hanging out. Like it sounds like it's a good album you can listen to and just hang out with or whatever. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Melancholy. Yeah, you're not the first person to say that. I forget who else. I think it was just like an old friend of mine or something may have mentioned it. Because for the type of music that I listen to, they are a band that will be suggested from time to time and it'll be like, oh, so do you like this? And it's like, yeah, I probably would, but I don't really know them. It's like if you're talking about like MXPX, someone might ask like, oh, do you know Emery? It's mildly related, right? But and the Smashing Pumpkins guy, he's also in. I don't know what he's doing, but I think he's involved in the NWA wrestling now. He was somewhat involved with what was that TNA, but I don't know what happened with TNA. I don't know. I didn't follow that timeline. Do I prefer compilation soundtracks or do rather artist takes on the whole project? So I feel like don't I have I think so like what was it? Wasn't the Black Dynamite album all by one person? And I think kind of like how Prince did the Batman soundtrack. So I think, and you can correct me if you have. Well, I don't want to say correct me, but you can say your idea. But I feel like that can create like a better cohesive experience, right? A more cohesive unit to listen. Is this Minoru Suzuki coming out? Oh man, this could get interesting. But I like that possibility of it. Like when you have one person doing everything, it just kind of makes things come off better. But at the same time, depending on what it is, like a compilation, as long as the sounds that they pick match up with whatever it's going with, yeah. If there's like a theme to it, it'll work out fine. Because when I was in eighth grade, that's when I was wait, was it? No, closer to ninth grade, I think. When I was like in ninth grade, man, this could be interesting. Suzuki just came out, so I am definitely looking forward to seeing this matchup whenever it happens. But yeah. So what I was saying, like when I was in ninth grade, that's when I was buying a lot of soundtracks, and a lot of those were like "Set It Off" and Jason's Lyric. You know what else? Sunset Park. You know the Black Panther soundtrack, or I think it was just called Panther. But either way, I was buying a lot of soundtracks then, and those were all just compilations, and they were all good because they all just matched up right with what they were supposed to be doing. Let's see, the Batman album was my favorite album. Yeah, I've heard stuff from the Batman album, but I need to give it a full listen, like from end to end, because I'm a huge fan of like listening to albums from end to end because that's when you get to like really see how it flows and stuff. Like I was talking to a friend of mine once, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not sure if I want to hear this album because I heard this song and I don't like how." It's like, don't be like that. Just hear the whole thing because like that album or excuse me, that song probably makes sense where it is on the album and stuff, but it may not be an accurate representation of the whole experience. So just hear it all out. It's like watching a sneaker review or something. Watch the whole video. Don't just skip to the on foot because you're gonna miss something. Trust me. Let's see. Hey bro, how's it going? Did the paper? No, the pay-per-view is like 3 matches in. It just started at 8, so like 40 minutes ago. And Joe, just let it go, dude. He's yeah. Let's see. The best rock soundtrack ever is from The Crow. Perfect soundtrack for the vibe that Crow gives. I never heard that. I don't know if I've ever heard anything from it, but I gotta know who was on the Crow soundtrack. Let's start there. Man, this dude is bleeding already. What just happened here? And let's see. Hey, bro, I'm trying to. Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, arguing on the internet is just, it's a waste of everybody's time. Yeah. The argument is based on the fact that it is soundtrack music. Yes, that's the thing. Yeah, let's see. Nine Inch Nails. Oh, okay. I saw them once. I saw them in uh Birmingham. Yeah, I saw them in the same building where Shawn Michaels beat the British Bulldog for the European title. So that was kind of a special moment for me, you know. I'm not a huge Nine Inch Nails fan, but I was there for that. Because like a friend of mine bought the tickets for me and like some other people. Because he's like, hey, you guys want to see this? And I'm like, no, not really. He's like, what if I buy the tickets? Would you go anyway? And I'm like, yeah. So that's what happened there. Let's see. Better than Twitter. But but honestly, like my biggest memory or whatever of Nine Inch Nails is really the Quake game from '96, right? I want to say '96. Pretty sure it was '96. '96 is when Quake came out, right? Because they did the soundtrack for that, and that was pretty cool. Because it was like I was kind of getting into, you know, games at that computer games at that time, and I just thought it was pretty awesome that an actual band made the music for a game. I don't know if it was a common thing or not at the time, but your exposure is your exposure, right? And I had a very limited run at that point. So when I saw that, I was like, man, that's pretty cool, even though I wasn't a huge fan of them. But it could be one of those things like Smashing Pumpkins, where if I had listened to more of it, I would have got into it. But that being that, like I remember not really being into when I saw them. So, you know, let's see. Quake was just, dude. Yeah, I saw that, man. Like, I think I shared the. I don't share a lot of other stuff on my little community thing, but when I saw that Quake remastered video, I was like, yes, this I'm excited about, right? And it's not often I'm excited about something. I'm gonna need to build a new computer so I can keep up with that because I've been wanting to do that for a while, but like video cards and process like the stuff that I want, not easy to come by because same thing like PS5s and stuff. Things are just selling out so fast. All the scalpers and whatnot are taking everything, so it kind of sucks. But yes, I am definitely looking forward to that next Quake game because even if it is just like the same stuff as almost 20 years ago, over 20 years ago, but with better graphics. I mean, I'm cool with that. They just did that with Tony Hawk, right? Like last year, I think. Yeah, they just did that with Tony Hawk, and I was all about that game, man. Speaking of, if anybody ever wants to play the newest Tony Hawk on PS4 or something, let me know. We can definitely do that. It is online, right? Is it? Hmm. I don't know because I've only played like single player. I've only played alone. But either way, Tristan Stewart, full name, no spaces, no dots, none of that stuff. PSN. I'm not an Xbox guy. I was back in the 360 era because the 360 era was pretty good. But after that, it kind of just dwindled down to only being a Sony guy. Let's see. Quake is horrifying. It's yeah, man. It is pretty cool. Like, because I remember around that time, like they had like Hexen and Heretic and Doom 1 and 2, right? The first person shooter like list of games in the mid 90s was crazy. Like Duke Nukem, that was a good one. Serious Sam was a couple years later, but that was fun for like LAN parties and stuff. Just running around like hordes of people running at you from all directions. Unreal Tournament. I spent a lot of hours in Unreal Tournament '04. Or was it '03? Can't remember the exact name. That one. Didn't quite play a lot of Battlefield though. I don't know why. It just didn't happen. But yeah, there was some good stuff back then. But I think Doom was probably one of the more creepy ones, especially when they re-released it in 2003. I forget what it might have just been called Doom, or maybe it was Doom 3. But that one, like, man, it looked amazing, and then it still had like that weird vibe that Doom games have. Man, Nightmare Creatures. I want to say no, but the name sounds familiar. Nightmare Creatures. Let me look that up because I'm not sure what that might be. But for some reason, it doesn't sound. I see the picture. The picture definitely looks familiar to me. When I say picture, I mean like the album cover or the game cover. And the first thing I see is 64. Like for me, like I associate 64 a lot with Turok when it comes to shooting games. I know a lot of people go with the GoldenEye, but I don't know. I just played a lot more Turok than I did GoldenEye. But yeah, I can see how this would be like a weird one because it has that look. Looks like it might be violent also. Like, remember that game Manhunt? I heard that was like for a while that's supposed to be like the most violent game or something, or it just like had a lot of gore in it. But yeah, like the game world overall back then seemed. I don't know if it was just because I was paying more attention or cared more or whatever, but back then it just seemed better, you know. Nowadays it seems like a lot of the stuff just doesn't really grab me like I would like it to, you know? Unless it's something that I can count on from the past, like the Jack and Daxter, not Jack and Daxter, what is it? Ratchet and Clank, you know? Though nothing against Jack and Daxter. I don't think they've been around in a while though. That and like, certain puzzle games. I am a big puzzle game person, but I don't know, like I've seen some newer things like Prey that had appeal, but I just didn't care to really get into it. And what was it? Was it Dead by Daylight or Deadlight or something? One of those seemed pretty decent. But what else? Limbo. Limbo was a little creepy. Limbo and Inside, both of those, same sort of thing. Both were a little creepy, but man, were they good. If you're into like the simple side scrolling puzzle type games, I definitely suggest either of those. They're usually on sale on Steam, but I wouldn't buy them at full price because I don't know, paying however much, like $15 or something for a simple game from like 2010. I don't know about all that. Do I like deathmatch wrestling? I don't watch as much anymore. Like it's one of the things I got into when I started watching wrestling. So I'm cool with it, right? But I think it's just that it's so hard to keep up with all the wrestling now because for when I do work. But I do enjoy it when I see it. Actually, the last death match I saw was live. It was at Fighter Fest. No, excuse me, Fight for the Fallen when Jericho and Nick Gage went at it. Now I know that that's not really like the death match of death matches or whatever, but it was still kind of cool to see it, in person. But I wouldn't mind seeing more of those. I think Nick Gage is gonna fight Moxley soon or something. I saw something about Moxley winning the title from what's that guy's name? The Zack Ryder guy, Cardona, Matt Cardona. So yeah, I'd be curious to see that, because and also like the old Japanese tapes that I used to buy like back in the '90s, those were just full of death matches, man. I mean, you couldn't really make out everything all the time because it was VHS, but you got the point. And then I think I had a Sabu, and it was either a Sabu or a Cactus Jack tape that I bought from like High Spots. And I remember on that was a Sabu versus Cactus Jack match. There might have been two on there, but man, that was crazy. I remember him like beating dude over the head with like one of those brown beer bottles, and he was trying to make it break, and it just wasn't breaking. And I remember just like cringing every time he hit him with it because like you could see and you could hear that sound of like a bottle like not breaking over somebody's head, and it has a certain effect on you. It really does. But where do you watch? What deathmatch wrestling do you watch? Because I know there were promotions where like that was kind of just like their thing. So do you watch that, or do you watch like the death matches where it's just like just one just happens every so often, kind of like how AEW once in a while will do some kind of death match type of thing. But yeah, there's a lot of that stuff, and it's part of me just does watch it and think like, why are you doing this? Especially like if it's like a small crowd, because when I see them like in like a high school gym and there's like 30 people in the crowd, it's like I'm not getting stabbed in the face for this. I mean, it's like you're gonna make like $16 at the end of the night. I don't know that that's really like the best thing to do to your body for that, because you want to be able to have matches for years, and so I just don't think that that's gonna do it. But whatever, to each their own. I mean, if that's how you make your money, if it's make a little bit of money versus being broke, well then yeah, okay, make a little bit of money. But I also just feel like there's a smarter way to go about it. But hey, nothing to the death matchers, nothing against them. You guys do your thing. I have my own preference, right, for what I would do. And that's all it is. You always got to respect other people's opinions and decisions. Some people are pretty good about that, kind of like when Damien Bell was trying to just do that earlier. Looks like that has finally happened, which is good. But yeah, so anyways, back to the pay-per-view, right? So Britt Baker, I was not a fan of her for a while. I'm cool with her now, but at first it was just kind of one of those things where like they're just forcing somebody on you. They're like, hey, watch this woman. She's like your new favorite wrestler. And I'm like, I don't know that she is. And they just kept just putting her on TV and like being in the main spots and all this stuff. But over time, she did get like a little better and stuff. So now she's pretty decent. But at the same time, like all that effort they put into her, it seems like they didn't put a whole lot into other people, because now they have this very not well-rounded women's division. So you have her who's like at the top of it, and then everybody else is just there, being there. And they're trying to make you believe like, oh no, Chris Statlander, she's up there. It's like, I like her, sure, but is she? We'll see. Because then when you have these matches, it's like it almost becomes unbelievable, right? Now, we'll skip over the wrestling being fake thing, but there is a whole suspending your disbelief thing that goes on when you watch this stuff. And you want to believe that when two people go in here for this big match, that either person could win. But when you watch this and like that there's stake in each of these people, it's like, nah, it's probably not gonna happen. Makes me sad. Well, no, I won't say sad, but it's unfortunate, Makes me miss the 90s again. Not to keep going back to that, but it is what it is. So I don't know if any of you guys are. Well, she does have a pretty decent 450. For it to be as slow, she'd probably rotate a little faster if she wanted to, but maybe that's on purpose. But anyway, so past that, who's still out there? Because I see like the numbers kind of go up and down as far as like the count of people in there. But yeah, this match though, and it could be also that I'm not paying a whole lot of attention because I am talking to people in here, but I don't know, man. Like sometimes I can watch something and out of the corner of my eye, I'm like, man, this is really good. Like I'm gonna want to watch this in full again later. But this, it's like it's just happening, and yeah, it's like when you're at like a music festival and you walk by and see a band and like you look at them like there's nothing really pulling you in. Like you get a little closer to like it almost sounds generic and you're like, whatever. And so then you just kind of move on. That's kind of how I'm feeling about this. But I can't move on because it's live, so I have to kind of wait it out. But so far, I'm not sure if this is. That was interesting. Just went for like a backflip off of the side of the ring. She didn't hit it. She totally hit the floor, but the execution was pretty decent. And then she got curb stomped for it. So that's unfortunate. I mean, it is what it is, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Wrestling just it's weird. But like the last pay-per-view they did was really good from start to finish. It was just a stacked show. Like every match was just delivering, right? This one has been why is Orange Cassidy all worked up now? You guys got any favorite wrestlers or anything out there, or like if you had any in the past, or do you know any at all? Because again, I know that the people in here kind of have their own interests and whatnot. Because I know we were talking about music and stuff, but every now and then somebody will say that they did care about wrestling, or at least were mildly into it at some point. Well, yeah, when I was 5, I liked Macho Man. It's like, okay, yeah, I could see that. It's colorful, loud, lots of movement. If I was 5 years old and saw Macho Man, I'd like him too. I mean, I'm like way older than 5, and I still like Macho Man. Keep buying all these shirts from him. Well, not from him because he's no longer with us, but shirts of him. I've got a good number of those. What? Why does it say started less than a minute ago? Did this stream just is there a problem with this stream or something? Well, that's still counting up. Let's see, never really been into it. I was into The Undertaker a lot when I was younger. Yeah. So The Undertaker is one of those guys where I think everybody just kind of knows of him because he's just been around for so long or whatever. Oh, she just did a Panama sunrise. It froze for a second. I don't know. Okay, because I've been seeing some weird, because I was doing a live earlier today, doing like the sneaker recap thing and stuff, talking about like the shoes that came out in August or whatever. And StreamYard was acting a little weird then, and it's acting a little weird again. So I'm not sure what the deal is, but I think there's something wrong. But it isn't anything I'm going to complain about because I watch the stream as it's going to, because that's how I see like the comments or whatever. So it looks like it's going, but every so often it'll look like it stops like for a second or two, and then it just gets going again. But I don't know. So Damian Bell, question to you. How did you happen to come across this here YouTube channel? I ask that to people all the time. Every so often I do get a review, I do get an answer on IG or YouTube. Wait, when was what? Oh, no, that was earlier this morning. Probably, no, it was this afternoon. It was 7 hours ago. 7 hours ago. I was on here with my buddy Aiden from ACS Sneakers. He's one of the UK guys. So we were on here kind of talking about some things. I haven't done an Instagram live video in a while. Do you follow me on Instagram? It's okay to say no if you don't. You're not missing a lot. Trust me. But I haven't done any unboxings on there in a while, because what I used to do, what I was before doing was like, if I got a new pair of shoes in, I would do the unboxing and a bit of a review on Instagram Live, and then I would do like the real review the next day, and that'd go up on YouTube as an actual review. So like the Instagram folks would just kind of get that first look, and then the YouTube people would get the second look, but the overall better look, because 4K quality and that whole thing. But the last couple unboxings I did on YouTube, because I was doing them after work, and it was like probably about like 4 hours or so after right now. So like around midnight my time. And I was getting it wasn't like a lot of people, but it was like a solid 7 to 10, Be a lot of like overseas people in there, and like just kind of sit back, talk about some things, which is cool because I like when I've seen other people doing like videos, like live sessions, like 50 or 100 people in there, it just like, it looks like a mess, it's like so much happening. So when I'm sitting here talking to like 5 people, it's weird to say it, but like that's kind of my preference, which is why I don't always really like promote lives a whole lot. It's just, I just throw them up and jump in. Like when I'm doing my actual videos, I'll tag those like nobody's business. But a live, nah. Hey, what the sneakers? What's going on, man? Haven't seen you in a while. I mean, I've seen you in like, I think I saw you on the Trap House not that long ago. How's everything been going? I know you're down there in Louisiana, so I was just talking to Jeezy the other day, and he's telling me about his issues. What about you? How's things in your side? I don't know if you're near him or not. I don't really remember where everybody lives, but no, but I will now. Don't really. Yeah, yeah. I'm not a good Instagram user. Like, I'll get on there and I'll just like post a barrage of things that I'm supposed to post over the last week, and then I'll do mostly nothing for the next several days. So, yeah, I try to be better at it, but I think I just don't care to use it, honestly, you know? So it is what it is, like everybody, some people see more value in doing Instagram than YouTube. Some people might do more like YouTube than Instagram, whatever, wherever your fan base is, wherever you're comfortable, like whatever caters to your content style, yeah, go with it. Me, that seems to be YouTube because I can put this stuff out there and just leave it alone. People will just take it in whenever they need to take it in. And I really like that aspect of it. With Instagram, it makes me feel like I'm more like a social media person and like I'm supposed to be out there like influencing or something. I don't want that. Let's see. I saw a video of yours, a review, maybe two, because the second popped up. You were familiar. I think I recommended your last live. So, oh, okay, cool. Like, I'm in the sneakers, but I have the whole. Yeah. Wait, who is this? What is. I have no idea who just walked out. There's some like Hispanic rap going on. Muelas de Gallo. Okay. I don't know what that's all about. But yeah, yeah. I know like my delivery is very different than a lot of people's, because and I thought about that when I started doing this initially. It's like because I know me, like I know I'm not. I'll slip my jokes in here and there, some dry humor once in a while if you're paying attention. But I'm not gonna be in here like, oh man, hey, you guys got to get these. You saw them, right? Like, look at these, blah blah blah. Super excited. No, I'm like, man, like these are looking pretty good. So I don't know about you, but I'm into them. I'll say stuff like that, and I'll just leave it alone. But people are into it, so that's cool. Let's see, everything good. Appreciate you asking. Easy, I think, good for the most part. Yeah, yeah. His electricity was out. I was talking to him. What day was? I guess Friday. I think it was Friday, and he was saying his electricity was out and might be out for like another like 10 days or something. I wasn't thinking of doing a channel as well, same style, just as a record. Yeah, man. Like, and that's the thing. It's you got to keep your head in the right space to do this, right? Because I know there's some people that they'll jump into like the YouTube thing and they're like, I want to be like this guy. I want to be like that guy. I want to be up here. And so then they're just kind of doing everything they can to get there. It's like if you just kind of nickel and dime your way through this thing, like just kind of keep your head in on like the entertainment side of it and just enjoying it, then things will probably work out a little better. Instead of like going off and saying like, oh, well, I need to buy every release super early just so I can, be there to show it to people or whatever. It's like, no, not really. I mean, I built the first video I did was off the Adidas Beavis and Butthead 3 MCs, which I don't think anybody even owns except for me. And even still, like the stuff I do now, it's like some of it is like, I don't know, has the mainstream appeal, right? But most of it, it's just what I'm into. And I think a lot of people don't care to do that for some reason. It's weird to me. Let's see everything. But I think everybody, well, I'm not saying I think everybody should do a channel, but I think anybody should do one. And if they do, just make sure that it's what you see a channel being. Like, if it's something that you could see yourself getting into, Cool. That means that somebody else is gonna get into it. When I make my videos, I know they're not for everybody, right? I totally understand that. But there are a few people out there that like the little detailed breakdowns and all that stuff. They like to see all the pictures, you know? So that's my fan base. It's a little smaller than a lot of other people's, but hey, quality over quantity is my stance. What the sneaker says, I'm glad CM Punk came back. It has definitely sparked a new energy in wrestling. Yeah, that was crazy, man. Like I remember when the rumors started. Like I was there when they at the show in Charlotte, the AEW show where Darby made the first tease or whatever, and that place went crazy, man. Oh, dude, it was. And now it's like he came back, and it was. It's been pretty good, and so now in probably another 45 minutes to an hour, he should be out. Right now, they're on the cage match, Lucha Brothers versus the Young Bucks. This should be a good one. Let's see. And then again, I think I put it in there before. If anybody cares to jump in or whatever, there is a link. Could you tell me when is the pay-per-view starting? How many hours? I mean, because it started an hour and 6 minutes ago, and they usually last like 3 hours, I think. Hey, Wise Soul, what's going on? Appreciate you stopping in again. Always welcome to see a familiar face and whatnot. I think it's been a while since you've been on. I have to get you back on a live sometime. I think it's been what? Have you never been on a live with me, or has it just been a long time? I'm trying to think. No, I'm not sure. Not sure. Either way, that means it's been too long, if I can't remember. But yeah, the pay-per-views, they usually don't drag them out too much, which is good because I like that they keep it moving so that you don't get bored. But what that also means, like for the people who are watching this in person, usually when there's like a huge delay between matches or whatever, you can like make your way to the bathroom and back before the next match so you don't miss anything. This in this setting, maybe not. Yeah, it's either been too long. I don't remember either. Okay, yeah. So, well, I'm sure I'll be doing another one sooner or later. I mean, let's see. Haven't done one of those sneaker battle things in a while. I'm just kind of not really thinking about it, I guess. And then otherwise, I do the lives every so often where I just kind of sit down and I'll just turn this on and just be like a last minute thing just to see what people want to talk about. Maybe show off some shoes or something. Today, I'm not showing anything off because I'm watching the show. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna book them to beat a lot of newer cats. That's my question now because I was thinking about that earlier. Like, because I do this, it's almost like it's like a betting thing. Where, like they give you these different questions and stuff, and you kind of fill in what you think as far as like your predictions for the show. It's like, okay, like who's gonna win this match? How long will the match go? Like who's gonna have will it be a submission or will it be a pin? There's stuff like that, and I'm just like, okay, that's cool. So today I was filling in my answers, and it's like, is CM Punk gonna beat Darby Allin? And it's like, I know he's cool with putting people over, but at the same time, I can't see him losing his first match. I'm just curious to see how they're really gonna do it because he's coming in just kind of doing like the friendly thing, just glad to be back, but he's gonna need some real conflict soon because that's when he's at his best, like when he's on the microphone, like delivering those promos and stuff, So at some point he's got to get into it with somebody that is a bad guy, but who's it gonna be, Because do you just send him straight to the top, or do you just kind of know that he's good for it and just kind of let him do some other stuff and then get to the title picture when he gets to the title picture? Man, these guys are killing each other in this cage. Oh, went to the well a little too many times. Let's see how I feel about AEW as a whole. I just started checking them out earlier this year, so I'm cool with it. There's some things that they do that you know, I could see them doing differently, to get a better result. But some of that also I noticed because I do listen to a lot of Jim Cornette, and even though I like AEW, when he complains about it, all his complaints are completely valid, like 95% of the time, no doubt. So overall, though, I think that AEW is doing a good thing. I'm just curious how they're gonna do things from here on, because they've got like 3 shows now and a lot of people. So I don't know, but I am going to see them in November. Yeah, I'm going to see them in November. Bought a couple tickets, so I'll be out there with mom. It's a late birthday present for her. I mean, it's an early. I got the ticket. Her birthday is in October, so I told them, hey, I got these tickets. We're gonna see some wrestling because she's become a wrestling fan over the years. So, and she was watching the AEW recently. She seemed to like it. I didn't even know she knew that it existed, honestly. So I'm feeling pretty good about them. I'm curious where it'll be in like another year, because if you take now and you subtract a year or two, like they've been kind of stepping things up. Let's see. Political question was Joe Biden. What? Okay, I'm not answering that. I'm just gonna skip over that because it's a political thing and I don't get into that. So I appreciate you, trying to spark conversation or whatever, but that one's just gonna have to be sparked somewhere else. No offense to you, it's just not my thing. But good luck to you in pursuing that conversation. I'm sure someone will love to have that with you. Let's see. Vince is starting to... What? No, Vince is fine. No, seriously, dude. Okay, here's the thing. I don't think that the WWE is going to be around much longer in the way that we know it, and will not ever return to the way in once we knew it, right? There's just too much stuff happening. Like NXT has turned into something where like it's taking a weird shift. Like they're trying to get people that aren't wrestlers but want to be wrestlers, and that seems odd. They're like, yeah, let's sign this guy and that guy. Oh, this guy's great at the long jump. He's an athlete. We can teach him stuff. It's like, yeah, that's not untrue, right? Wow, that was different. But I don't know, man. I think that they don't have the interest of the actual watchers in mind anymore, like the people who grew up into wrestling. I think they are just like, you know, like me. I still watch because it's a habit at this point. I don't watch because it's fun, and that's sad. But I will be watching live, hopefully, in March from the AT&T Stadium or AT&T Arena, whatever it's called. It should be in Dallas for WrestleMania. What number is that? 38, 37, whatever. Let's see. Oh, I think I just got a message from what's his name? Wait, was it him? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll have to. I did a giveaway earlier, so somebody was saying something to me about that. And now, where is it though? I don't know where his comment went. I don't know, but yeah, I'll deal with that later though. Let's see. I was just about to mention NXT, Triple H build up from the ground up. So yeah, because like when I got into NXT, it was 2014, I think. Yeah, I want to say it was 2014, because then when I moved back to America and I went to the first NXT show that was on the road, WrestleMania 15 or WrestleMania 2015 weekend. Jesus Christ. Like the way Ray Phoenix just fell off the rope between like the ropes and the cage, he was just like ping ponging back and forth. That dude might be dead now. I'm not 100% sure. But when NXT was starting, like when I was watching it, and at that point, it was like the best thing in the world. And then it kind of just evolved a little bit to get like a little tighter, you know, a little better as far as like the talent that they had, but it didn't lose its core thing. But then over time, when they moved to what is this? They're on USA now, I think. When they moved to USA, it took a change because like you know then the whole public stakeholders thing, like trying to appeal to the masses and stuff, and making it a 2 hour show didn't help. So yeah, they made it bad. And then you look to AEW to hopefully be like, okay, maybe AEW will be like the NXT was, right? And sometimes it is, right? But sometimes they also do some weird stuff. I get that they're taking some chances and you know just giving the fans what they want. Nothing wrong with that. But it can just be a little odd. Let's see. Have you checked out Heels? No, like that's the one with the Arrow guy, right? Stephen Amell. So, or is it Amell? I think. But I haven't seen Heels now. Did you commemorate the You have some of the weirdest questions, dude. No, I didn't. I'm saying that to you, Joe Cool. Just to make sure because I know there's a couple people in there. No, I didn't. I didn't even know that it was the 20th anniversary of it. Which sounds weird because like normally when you say like anniversary, you almost think like a positive thing, but that's not really a positive thing. So no, I'm not gonna talk down on her or whatever, but I at no point in my life ever considered myself an Aaliyah fan. I just didn't really listen to what she was doing. So yeah, around that time, I was probably more of a Busta Rhymes guy back then, you know, because that would have been like late '90s if I remember correctly, right? Maybe I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't listening to her. Yeah, well, you can ask him, but don't always expect much. Like, especially for me, because I don't pay attention to a lot of things, right? I keep my eye on the tech stuff to some extent, not as much anymore as I would like to, but I try to. There's the wrestling thing, right? Music stuff to some extent, you know, if it's a band that I'm into and, you know, new albums coming out. Because, like, Friday, 2 days ago was Friday. Anybody pick up any new albums for a album release day or whatever? I didn't see anything come out this week that I was really into. And then, of course, the shoes. But yeah, I think of it like the shield. Yeah, exactly. Because like there was a certain mindset for NXT, and what sucks is like it looked like they were kind of getting back to that. Like you know when Samoa Joe went back down there, it's like okay, this might rekindle something. You know, might like shift things over here. And then all that news came out about them changing stuff, which makes me wonder, did Samoa Joe know what he was getting into? Or was he sold on just the fact that he was going to go back to NXT like it was in 2015, 2016? Because from what it seems to be moving into, I don't think a lot of people are a fan of it. So, Donda certified lover boy. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so the Halsey album, I did pick that up from Target. So when I'm walking through Target on my little action figure pickups and stuff, I do buy a lot of like CDs because between the wrestling figures and the NECA figures is the CD stand. So like I'll stop by that and I'll see what they have new. Like I picked up the AFI album a couple weeks ago, picked up the Halsey album and the most recent Lana Del Rey album. So because you know like I'm a sucker for exclusive things and it's like oh it's the Target edition. It has an extra sticker and an extra song. I'm like I don't care about your sticker, but I do like extra songs. I think oh man, he's got the thumbtacks on the shoe. Huh. So this guy has the Travis Scott ones with thumbtacks on the bottom. So that's what's going on AEW right now. So somebody is about to get hurt. Okay, where was I? Halsey. So yeah, I didn't know it was produced by Trent Reznor. I had heard that her album was going to have a different approach, but I haven't opened it yet, so I haven't heard it. I also got the new album by The Main because I saw them with All Time Low recently. And I still need to pick up the most recent Garbage album because I keep forgetting to do that. They were here 2 weeks ago also, but I completely forgot about their album. Let's see, I think it's Messed Up Samoa Joe never got a real title run on. Yeah, he didn't, did he? Like Samoa, but then again, everybody from NXT got screwed over on the main roster except for, well, okay, Seth Rollins did all right, but he didn't come from like the NXT. He came from like the older one, the initial one, like the Bo Dallas one. The who else? The Big E one, right? But in recent years, like the only person to do all right for themselves consistently was probably Kevin Owens. Like he came out there, he beat John Cena his first night, and then he's been relevant since then. Can't think of how many titles he's won or whatever, but there was that. But like you look at Finn Balor, that just kind of, I don't know why that didn't work. Like you would think it would. They seem to be doing all right for Damian Priest, but like personally, like I got no problems with him. I'm just not a fan. So let's see. Am I the one that never liked Billy? Um, I oh yeah, I forgot Lord put out a new album too, but I didn't pick that one. I almost bought Lord's new album, but like they had this box set at Target. But the thing is, it's a box with just like some random crap in it. It's like the CD size, but it says on there in fine print like this does not include a CD because it just has a download code to download the CD from offline. Stupid idea to me. But yeah, I can't think of anything of Billy Eilish. Is that how you say that? I don't know if I've ever heard it pronounced. I've seen the name a million times. But yeah, Lana's album came out. That was like maybe 2 months ago. Kim Trails Over the Country Club. I think that's what it's called. But her albums have always had kind of like from one to the next to the next to the next. Have had a pretty different feel to all of them. But I've been very much cool with the ones that I've listened to. She's also really good live. If you ever get the chance, I would suggest it. Let's see. Ooh, man, dude just took the thumbtacks to like the head. Like you see it happen and it sounds, Jesus. So close, so close. I'm pulling for the Lucha Brothers here, people. Man. But anyway, so yes. Where was I? Lana Del Rey. Yeah, Lana Del Rey is pretty solid in person. Definitely suggest that. Her new album is probably good. If someone develops a good enough track record, I'll buy their albums without listening to them because like I know I can count on it. And when it comes to the whole, like I said, I've never listened to any Kanye West, so I don't know. I just never saw it as something I needed to do. What do they do? Like something's about to happen off of this cage. I can feel it. But let's see, who else has put out recent albums? The Rise Against album that came out a few months ago, that was really good. Offspring put out an album, but I think that was like several months ago. That one was solid as well. It kind of starts off like a Bad Religion sound. Somebody told me that. Now I can't unhear it, but it sounds really good. They also have a Gone Away piano version that they finally put on album, and so it's on there. So I do like that. The next Billy Idol album is going to be produced by Butch Walker, and I'm a big fan of him. Butch Walker, also produced the most recent Wallflowers album, and that one is solid as well. The Descendants put out a new version of old songs, so that was really good too. Bought that from Bandcamp. Let's see. Drake. Yeah, I saw Drake once at Austin City Limits in 2015. Can't remember. But I saw him at one of those at Austin City Limits one year. It was either 15 or 17 because I went twice, but I can't remember which one. And yeah, I watched like a song or two of his set because I was there, and I was like, let me just see this. I was like, yeah, I just couldn't get into it. Let's see. Tried to understand the man though over the last years and have grown sort of an appreciation for him, and this was a complete work. Okay. Let's see. Can't really go behind a 40-year-old referring to himself as a certified lover. Well, that does sound a little weird. I mean, it's almost like when you see certain bands that have been around for a while and they do songs about like teenage angst and stuff. And it's like, dude, you're 48. Like, what are you talking about? You know, like if Blink 182 plays like All the Small Things, it's like it's still a good song, you know, but like it doesn't have the same effect. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be a good song that like kind of gets you going for a moment. And I wonder how they feel about like doing those sometimes, you know? Like Alanis Morissette, right? Like where her life was when she did Jagged Little Pill and where it is now, totally different, right? So she doesn't have all this built up rage and aggression and stuff. But then when you look at certain bands like Bad Religion, they can keep doing the same thing forever because what they do is basically timeless, you know? It's all just about what's going on around you. Let's see. Drake is 32. Oh. Well, yeah, I don't know. Let's see. 34. Oh, well. Let's see if he's the way I look at it, I'm going to say that he's 35 just because he's close enough. If it's within a month, just go ahead and round up. But and so from that perspective, 35 and 40, it's pretty close. I mean, as a 39-year-old, like I'm going to say it's pretty much there, right? I remember being 35. It wasn't long ago. So, yeah, to me, I get it. I mean, obviously, one number is not another number. That is a fact. Jesus Christ. Wrestling, man. They pull you in and they're like, oh my God, is it gonna happen? You know? But then there's like a giveaway. Like you can tell sometimes when people are getting pinned, it's like if they're looking at the referee, it's like, okay, he's just looking at the referee so he knows when to kick out, or he's looking for the guy that's gonna break the finish. Oh boy. Now he's gonna go to the top of the cage. Man, this is I don't know. Is this like a pin or escape? I think you can escape to win, can't you? So shouldn't he just leave so they can win? I don't know. Any new move? So hey, it's Chip. What's going on? Oh, what the sneakers? I didn't realize you had joined the party. My bad. I'm caught up in the show here because like dude's
I see it, man. I see you caught up all in it, bro.
Yeah, it was just like, how long were you waiting though?
No, I was really only waiting for like a few seconds.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, I just happened to look away and look back at the right
I knew
time.
you were gonna put your head back down, look at the chat stuff, so I wasn't tripping about it.
But oh hey Chip, what's going on, man? New movies. Not because I'm looking forward to it, but I do want to see. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. I do want to see the Shang-Chi movie, just because Marvel generally does pretty well for themselves. I also want to see Don't Breathe 2 because the first one was pretty good. And is there anything else? What the sneakers? What do you say? Like, you got any movies that you know of that's new you're trying to see?
I know they had that trailer for the new Spider-Man movie. I know that's gonna probably be a little while though, but because I'm just a big Spider-Man fan, but I'm looking forward to that though.
Yeah. I wasn't as big on the first one as a lot of people, But the second one, the one with Mysterio, that one won me over for sure.
Yeah. Honestly though, man, like I'm not a big fan of the ones right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they good movies, but I'm older, so I like the Tobey Maguire movies. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
the original Spider-Man, because I feel like he had Peter Parker down to a T. You know what I'm saying?
From a
So
visual perspective, he did match up better. Like, cause like I liked the guy that did the one with Jamie Foxx, the
hold
the
on.
guy that's like after
Oh
him.
yeah. Andrew Garfield.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that movie was good too. I only thought that the way they did Jamie Foxx, excuse me, the way they did Electro was weird, just because I guess you know how it is. Like you grow up looking at a character a certain way, so you expect them to just look a certain way forever.
right.
But so that part was a little off-putting, but
I think it
overall,
was kind of I think it was kind of messed up how they just kind of ended it the way they did. Because from what I heard, I thought the next one was supposed to be about Gwen Stacy and that situation. You know,
yeah, because they were going to build up to the Sinister Six from what it looked like,
Mhm.
by the ending.
Right?
But dude in here saying that Spider-Man 2002 was the best one. So that was, I'm guessing that was the first Tobey Maguire one.
Yeah,
Okay, because I remember there were three. There was one. The third one had Venom in it, right?
yeah. The Venom. Yep.
Okay.
And I'm saying that. Yep.
What was the second one? Was that Sandman,
Now
or was
that
that?
was Doctor Octopus,
So who was the villain in the first one?
Green Goblin.
Oh, right. Okay. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I'm trying to. It's one of those movies, or one of those things where, like, when you haven't seen it in forever, you're trying to like piece things together. It's like, man. But yeah, I mean, overall though, I'm curious to see all of them, honestly. And have you watched any of the What If on Disney Plus?
What else?
Yeah, it's basically like a cartoon series, animated series, where
Okay.
you know how like they did the What If comics back in, well, I don't know if they still do them, but they used to do the What If comics.
Yeah.
It's basically that, but they just do an episode per topic. So they did one where it was like, what if the what's his the lady that Steve Rogers was into or whatever, like what if she was Captain America, and they did one where
And this is
like,
based on Marvel.
yeah, it's they've done like 4 episodes so far. So it's like a relatively new series or whatever.
Okay,
But
I'm about to check that out.
yeah, because like they're done pretty good. They did. I think the most recent one was the one where like, what if Doctor Strange like went bad or something. The one before that was what if Black Panther, like King T'Challa was the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy,
And he
and
was the guy from the Guardian of the Galaxy.
yeah, so it was it was weird, man. I mean, it was a good episode.
I'm about to check. I'm gonna have to pop in, especially check that one out because that
Yeah,
just sounds funny to me, bro.
yeah, it's they're all worth a watch. Just to kind of make you think about something.
Yeah, I remember those what ifs, man, because I used to like collect comics back when I was a kid.
Uh huh.
I mainly had mostly I had Spider Man and I had the Green Lantern.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I
There was,
know a guy that used to stay with us way back when, man. He had so many comics, and I remember like those what if series, bro. They was pretty cool.
See, and that's the thing. Like, I need to. I mean, I guess I could. There's a million ways to get all access to that stuff nowadays. But when I was younger, it was just one of those things where like you knew about them, but
Hmm.
like you know, you could only get what your friends had, and you could borrow or something like that.
Right.
Because that was it. Or you just like hear people talk about it. But I did hear a while ago that there was a what if the Punisher killed Spider-Man, I think. I
Yeah.
heard that was a good one.
I still think they do that stuff now. I mean, it's probably a little older. I know they had like the Deadpool thing where what if he killed all of the Marvel's heroes and stuff like that. And I think it was a series too.
Hmm. Wait, oh, there's gonna be a Spawn reboot? I did not know. I did not know about that. Did
Yeah,
you
they
know
got
about
a
that?
Spawn reboot. I want to say it's supposed to be Jamie Foxx.
Really? Because
Yeah,
like, I mean, I think that Michael J. Jai White, whatever.
people
I
slept on
mean,
that one. I don't know why they did it, but I think a lot of people slept on the original Spawn movie.
like I remember, I only saw it one time, and it was in theaters, but I remember liking it. But and also that was at the time when Spawn was like popular, in the comic
Mhm.
world for sure. So I'm pretty curious to see how that goes because knowing like the little bit I know about Fox, like Jamie Foxx and Spawn, they don't match up, you know?
I can go with that. I mean, I can see why a lot of people like the guy in the comments said Michael J. White because he's more realistic, I guess, for that movie, like because
Right.
of his background.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that's the Spawn show from HBO.
Hmm.
That was HBO had some. I don't know what they're doing now because I don't really pay attention to them, but HBO had some pretty good stuff in the '90s.
Shoot, honestly, all of them did, to be honest, because like there was a lot of good movies, a lot of dope movies, man. I mean, like I still go back and watch some old films. Like I ain't gonna lie, like I really don't watch a lot of new films these days
Mhm.
because none of them really compels me like that.
Okay, okay, I'm gonna ask you a question then. I'm sure you'll have a pretty good answer for it. Just want to know what you think of the movie, where it stands for you. It's one of my favorites, Dead Presidents.
Dead Presidents,
Yeah, did you see that one?
yeah. It was a pretty good movie. It was a pretty good movie. I actually liked what's his guy name? Trying to think of his name. Um,
I
the starting guy. Dang, I don't know why I don't know his name.
I once you say that, I'll know who you're talking about. But
The main guy. Dang, I
yeah,
don't know why.
he was in some other movies.
But you know what I'm
More,
talking about. I can't believe I don't know his name. I mean, I can't remember his name. But him, he did a good job.
yeah.
Chris Tucker in that movie it was a
Was it Lorenz Tate?
Lorenz Tate.
Okay.
Um, Chris Tucker had a different type of role that I don't think most people actually seen from him. Because
Right.
we all know him from comedy, but he had more of a serious role with the him being the addict and
Right.
coming
Because
from the war, kind of mentally messing them up and stuff like that.
that was before Friday, right?
No, that was after. I think that was after Friday.
Was it? Okay. Because I know that it's close. You know what I'm saying? When I look back
Yeah,
at
he was
that
in a,
time frame.
yeah, he was in some. He was in a few other movies before. I think that Dead Presidents came out because a lot of people was just starting. He was just starting to get into that Hollywood. So you know,
Yeah, but yeah, it was a good one. I mean, I remember seeing that a few times. You know,
still come on to this day, man. I still watch it.
and another one I watched like kind of along the around that time. Well, no, this was probably a few years. This was definitely a few years later, but Four Brothers. Remember it had Andre 3000 in it, and uh, man, I cannot not think of the dude's name. The white dude.
You talking about Four Brothers?
Yeah. What is his name? Like, I can picture
Mark
him.
Wahlberg.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg. Man, yeah. So that was a good one too.
Yeah, that was pretty good too.
But again, and part of it might be that like because my parents were renting more movies, so I was seeing more movies back then than I do now. But at the
Back in
same
the
time,
blockbuster days.
what's that?
Back in the blockbuster days.
Right. And now it's like movies still come out, but they just don't seem to make me care to see them like they used to.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I remember, bro, like, it was like my mom or my stepfather, like, they'll always go to Blockbuster, like, every Friday, go pick up a movie for them, or they'll go pick up a movie for us. You know what I'm saying? It was, like I said, that was like the great times when movies was coming out, man.
Oh yeah, I would look forward to that. And then we had HBO. It's like every Saturday there would be like a new movie that debuted. And then
Mm-hmm.
during the day I just watched Bebe's Kids practically on repeat because it was on like every 2 hours. What's going on, Jeezy?
Baby's Kids. What's going on, fellas? How y'all holding up?
What up, Jeezy, man?
I'm cool,
Good.
brother. How you doing?
Shit, straight, man. You good down there in New Orleans, bro?
Yeah, we making it, bro. Excuse that little noise. That's my little runt playing with his toy, man. At least he's happy.
Yeah, that's the most important part, right there.
Uh-huh. Yeah, how y'all doing up there, man?
Shit, nothing much, man. Shoes up. Got to be talking about movies, old school movies, and
Yeah, I heard
the
Blockbuster.
'90s
I
and
was
the
like,
2000s, man.
yeah, that was a family trip on Fridays.
Yeah, we also had like and I'm sure everybody did, but like right up the street from us, within walking distance, was just a little video store, just some little mom and pop type thing or whatever. Used to get a lot of stuff from there too. My mom was like, "Go ride your bike up there and drop these movies off," one of those situations.
You know what I really hated though, man? What I felt was the end of everything for me, bro. I mean, of course, when Blockbuster went out of business, well, I mean, I think they still got a shop with them, so I don't know if they technically went out of business, but
that one
man, when
Blockbuster
they
in
closed
Oregon.
down FYE and they only made it online only,
No,
that
they
pissed
just closed
me
it.
off
They just closed
so.
it down here. They got an FYE in other states.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, FYE.
I thought it was only
My
online
cousins.
now because I know they closed the one down here.
Yeah,
When
the
did
one.
you guys close? Because I haven't seen one since I was in El Paso.
What it was about 2010.
Okay, yeah,
It
because
was a
like,
hot minute. It was definitely a hot minute.
Yeah, it was like 2010,
wait,
maybe
what was
20. It
FYE?
might have was 2012 to be honest with you.
Yeah, FYE. I saw the last one that I used to see was when I used to go to one of the El Paso malls, and that was like 2019 that I left there. 2018 that I left there. So, but I don't know if I've seen any around here.
Yeah, one of my
I
cousins who live in
don't know about that
Indianapolis,
one.
she sends me pops from the one that's out there, like the FYE exclusives.
Yeah, yeah. So they are still around because I know I still hear about those. I got a Finn Balor from was it Finn
Bro,
Balor?
you were always like it was crazy like going to FYE because I was so people knew me so much in there that they would actually give me they like store discounts because I used to come in there all the time. And I'm talking about buying up all the new movies, all the new CDs. Shoot, even some of the posters they be having, like they used to have some dope posters and nothing. I used
Yeah,
to grab them.
remember Suncoast?
I do remember Suncoast.
Yeah, that was my spot.
Because I know moving around. I think that was
That's dope right there.
were those everywhere. Suncoast.
Yeah, I think Suncoast was. Yeah, I think they were roughly everywhere. I think FYE was the one who put them out of business.
Okay, because like there's some stuff where like I'll remember it when people bring it up, but then I'll think and I'll like have only seen it like when I was in Virginia, or maybe only saw it when I was in Iowa.
I didn't think they still had Odysseys around until I actually seen one.
Yeah, I don't even think that's familiar to me.
Well, down here we had Peaches, but it was really they had Odyssey and Odyssey Records and things like that.
But yeah, it was. I do kind of miss like it kind of like with any other physical media or whatever. It's like it was nice being able to walk through the stores and just kind of look at stuff.
Right.
That's just me pretty much saying to digital, man, y'all can kick rocks because I'm not really with the digital stuff, man. Like I still buy CDs to this day, man. Like honestly,
Me too.
like I don't like to have something not where I can't holding hands and stuff, man. Like I just started getting back into buying vinyls.
Quick to answer, Damien. Probably another hour and a half. I don't know. Like if the pay-per-view ends and we're still talking about stuff, I'll end it when we're done talking about stuff. But at least through the end of the pay-per-view. So that's why I say at least like an hour and a half. I feel like that's about accurate. But yeah, so when it comes to like the physical media, like that's my thing, right? Because sometimes like there's like memories attached to it, you know, like when I look at a CD, it's like I can feel like being back in high school with certain things, you know, like when DMX passed away, like I went and I like pulled the CD out of the CD case, you know, from the same spot that it's been in since like '98, right? And it's like, man, like I remember when I first got this and I was like driving around listening to it constantly, you know what I mean? And it's like a little piece of history for you. Like, sure, now there are some albums like Into the Wu-Tang, Into the 36 Chambers, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like I've bought that on probably every form of media since tape. And you know, so I do have the digital so I can just kind of get to it easily or whatever. But nothing beats like being able to flip through a CD collection, you know?
Right. I was just going through some of my VHS. I found a couple VHSs in my one of my garages.
Man, if I found any VHSs, they'd be recorded versions of pay-per-views that I bought, and maybe some old WWF WrestleMania 10 and prior releases.
Who remember?
We got something in common, man. Because I know, you know, back then with the WWF and stuff, man. My stepfather used to buy us because he knew we was into wrestling like that, and he used to buy like those, those blank cassette tapes. Where we could record and stuff like that, man. And I used to record damn near all of the WWE Raws and SmackDowns, bro.
Yeah, that was the thing to do back then, especially if you change like the tape speed or whatever, and you can get more recording on there.
Yep, the commercials and everything.
Yeah, and this guy's saying Free Dream saying like we're showing our like we always like our age is like the three of us. It's very apparent if you listen to any of us talk for more than 4 consecutive minutes.
My friend was just asking me. We was talking. I said something about Laserdisc from back in the day. I said that was the Blu-ray before Blu-ray.
Yeah, I remember seeing those in 6th and 7th grade back when I was living up the street basically. And man, like I remember like putting one of those into like the player because I had to watch some like nature thing so I could do a little report on like it's like turtles or something. I don't know. I just remember the ladies. Oh, here you go. And I'm like pulling out like things like bigger than me, you know.
Right. Them things had some weight on it too.
Yeah, and then you have to flip it over. Like, man, it was cool though. You know, all that stuff back then.
That quality was incredible.
It makes you really appreciate like a lot of the things now, but also at the same time still miss certain things from then. Because I like how convenient some things can be, right? But sometimes I kind of miss like a simpler way of life, for lack of a better way to put it. You know, like being young, I could just run outside or whatever. It's like I'll walk miles or whatever around the neighborhood, just seeing who all is at home or where people might be, because you couldn't call anybody. So, so it's like, oh, let's go see if Mikey's over at home. Then we go walk over to his house and. His dad's like, oh no, he's outside already. It's like, oh okay. It's like, oh maybe he went over by that tunnel. So he go walk by the tunnel. It goes under the street. We're just walking and just killing all kinds of time, just doing nothing really.
So we already knew if the car wasn't there, they're not there.
Well, this was like in the way younger ages, but yeah, I know what you mean, like later on. But this was like what was it? I guess I would have been what? Yeah, seventh grade, sixth grade, something like that. So none of us were driving in seventh and sixth grade. So I don't
Right.
know. I don't know how things were going
Well,
down in
well,
Louisiana.
we had a rule. We had a rule. Even if the car is gone, don't answer the door.
Yeah. But yeah, it was cool, man. And now things are just like, again, like I look at, and I forget, maybe it was one of you guys that I was talking to about this and how you see like what kids do nowadays, like for fun or whatever. It's like, I'm sitting like sit around and play some Xbox and stuff, and I'm sure we all played video games when we were younger, but there was a more social aspect to it.
Right.
I love playing video games, but I know my mom will tell me to get my ass out the house.
Yeah, there was a lot of that too. It was just like, and then I might go to another friend's house and maybe he's playing like, it might be like a single player game, but I'll sit and watch that and have a good time. And then or like we lived near before they started tearing everything down and making new buildings, there's like a big forest near us. So we would just go walk through there and it's like not really going anywhere, but just walking,
Yeah. Like I said, it's just a different generation, man. Different vibe. I think everything a little too convenient, though. Honestly,
definitely.
Yeah.
Because it's
I
like,
don't like it.
My parents used to say that we were different from their generation, and I'm like, it's just a trickle down effect. Every generation got little differences.
yeah, that is true. I mean, I don't know what my parents were doing like when they were younger or whatever, but yeah, I'm sure it was very different. But hey, we all you can do is you appreciate the things you had, and I'm sure hopefully the people nowadays I would hope that they appreciate what they have too. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then in 10, 20 years, whatever, again, it's going to be different. It's just weird sometimes when I look at like my parents, like, and I see like my brother and my sister, and it's like sometimes I'm like, so you just kind of letting her raise herself at this point, huh? You just done, aren't you? So you raise a few kids, and now it's like, we're tapping out.
You had a question in the chat, though.
Yeah, I was just about to say something about that.
Okay.
I'll let you guys go.
It don't matter.
Whoa! Hey, Baby Riot's back.
Oh shit! Well, shoot, man, I got into sneakers, man. Like my first sneaker, my first sneaker that really got me into really looking at people's shoes and checking out the fits and all that type of stuff was like the Bread 13s, 1998. I just ended up getting a pair of 1998 Breads back in the collection. But that was the first shoe right there, man, because I know a lot of people was looking at my shoes. A lot of people actually was thinking it's dope and stuff like that. So later on in the years, man, once I got a job and stuff, man, when I started collecting, man, it was around 2006, like 2006, like towards the end of 2006. People don't know, like I was more of a big Air Max fan at that time period. Like I wasn't really buying no Jordans or whatever unless my mom bought me some. And then slowly after like 2007 and stuff like that, towards the end of 2007, I just started buying more Jordans and onwards, and then that's just how I got into it, man. I was always admiring people's sneakers from afar, like because I knew it was a lot of sneakers that I couldn't get, so.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
And then it just builds from there, or in some cases, just spirals out of control.
You're not lying.
Sure ain't.
And I know I believe you said you've kind of started and restarted and over the years, right?
Yeah. I mean, pretty much similar to what the sneakers is. which I didn't know at the time. My mom was mainly getting us Air Maxes and things like that, but it was just like that was so nobody would jack us out Jordan. So I grew up in the starter jacket era. So yeah, when that article came out, that was very heavy down here. So if they caught you with the wrong J's on, that was either the J's or your life. But the shoe that really caught my eye, and I spoke on this before, it was really the black and white Air More Up Tempo.
Oh, okay.
OG, but yeah, I mean, like a few Barclays caught my eye, but it was something about that up tempo that just caught my eye. I just that air on the side of it, that was just something different for me.
Mm-hmm.
But and then after that, like I said, restarted after that. I'm glad this hurricane ain't take my new collection this time, because I feel like this would have been quits for me at this point.
Yeah, I think about that from time to time.
What you said? What the sneak?
No, I was saying I would have felt your pain and understood if you didn't want to restart, man. Cause that, I mean, knowing what that went through, man, through Katrina and all these other storms and stuff.
Yeah, man. And after the first collection, the shoe that got me back in it was actually the Defining Moments pack. That came like right directly after the year after the storm happened. But like I said, it was just a natural thing. Like I said, it wasn't nothing that I felt like it was forced. I didn't realize how big it was until, like, later years, seeing like a Jumpman Baltic, seeing like a Nightwing, seeing like even DJ Dell's. Like, I didn't realize how big this was. I just thought it was like a little hobby that was relegated to really just me.
That's crazy you said that, bro, because I know I had like my starts and goals and stuff like that. I put away sneakers for 5 years. Most people don't even know that. Like, I stopped collecting 2013, all 2018. Came back 2018. The first shoe that got me back into actually buying sneakers was the OVO Ace on that All-Star weekend. And my wife, she ended up hitting it for me because I really wanted it.
Right.
But I didn't know how big this sneaker community thing was, man. The only people that I really knew as far as sneakers, and I don't even know if they was really considered like sneaker, like a sneaker channel, but like Kick Jeans, because I was watching, but I ain't never really considered them like a sneaker channel. I mean, they do performance reviews and stuff like that, but they also do like basketballs and stuff like that too.
Right. Right. That was same thing with before Nightwing became Wear Teslas, it was I think it was Kicks on Court at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It was Kicks on Courts. But it was the same thing, performance reviews for the most part. It was like you'll get the aesthetic, but it's letting you know how the shoes perform on court.
Yeah, those performance reviews are no joke. And I say that just because like the time that has to go into them, like
right,
or whatever it is, whatever that shoe was made to do, like because I've done a couple of those in the past, and I like doing them because it's something different, right? But I think I did that trail running shoe review a while ago. I was out running all through the forest, like I don't even know where I'm going anymore, But I just know that the car is far away. But it can be useful, and like with certain things, like that's kind of what you want more so than an actual review, because if it's something made to perform something, you need to know more than just how it looks. I can sit here and show you pictures of an up tempo, and you'll probably be good after that on figuring out if you like it or not.
Right.
But if you're looking for an actual running shoe so you can go running, then you're probably going to want a little more substance.
But you know what the craziest thing about the community was? I didn't realize this. Like, you had to be a certain kind of insanity to travel 3 states over to get a certain shoe.
Yeah, I would agree to that.
So that was another thing because I distinctly remember back in it was '04, yeah, no, it was '03 when the Altitude 13s came out, and I was like, it didn't come out down here, it came out in another state or 2 states over, so we had to hop to Florida to go get it.
You know what? Like the Altitude 13 was one of the last things, possibly the last thing that I got reserved access for before they started just giving it. Because nowadays when they give you reserved access, it's usually like something that's just going to be available to everybody anyway.
Right.
But whenever that year was, it actually meant something. I didn't get them, but I looked at them. They were nice though. I was so close, so close. I bet on Thunder Rosa for this match, but Ruby Riott came along and just said no to that. So, but I mean, if she's going to lose to anybody, I think that was the best person to lose to. And given that Ruby Riott was making her debut with AEW,
Right.
I mean, that's kind of like the way you make a debut, I mean, she already had a crazy reception when she came out, so. But this does set up to see another match between those two, and that's going to be really good. Definitely. So I think
Ordered. I should have probably ordered the pay-per-view, but then again, I don't even know the last time I ordered a pay-per-view.
man, I ordered these, because I guess this is really the only pay-per-view you can order now. No, I take that back because like the Impact pay-per-views, you can still order those too. But the thing about the AEW pay-per-views is that if you order them through like the normal, I think they're on like BR Live or something, and they're like $40 or $50. But if you use a VPN and you buy it through Fight TV, it's only $20. So that's what I do.
That's pretty dope.
Not bad.
Yeah, exactly. And then like because I use this Google rewards thing or whatever, where like sometimes you answer questions and they'll like give you like not a lot. It's like you might get like 25 cents or $1 or something, depending on what the questions are.
Mm-hmm.
It'll mostly be like if you like went to like a restaurant or something, it might say, oh, like how is the service at this place? Would you recommend it? Just like an opinions thing. So I build up a little bit of money on there, and I'll have like maybe $5 or $10 or whatever every so often. And so then when I buy these, it's basically like getting like I'll use the money off that because it gets paid through like my Google thing or whatever. And then so I really end up only paying like 10 or 15 for it. So it works out pretty well. Oh man, they're doing the old Chris Jericho countdown with the clock. Little Y2J guy going on here.
It's surprising you see Chris Jericho still doing it to this day. Like
you still see Sting doing it to this day.
yeah, and like bro, like I mean, I understand we got like people like The Rock, Stone Cold. It's like the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. But it's crazy that nobody ever put Chris Jericho. Well, some people do, but I'm talking about like the bigger, people like they don't never put Chris Jericho on that Mount Rushmore, bro.
For Chris
Jericho, I mean, I do. For years, he was like my guy.
For me, Jericho is like the greatest supporting actor that you could have in a movie. So, like, he compliments the great ones, such as like a Rock and a Stone Cold, but that's how, like, Macho Man Randy Savage is my favorite wrestler. But he was always overshadowed by Hulk Hogan.
Right.
But I feel like he always had more pizzazz than Hulk Hogan. He had better matches than Hulk Hogan.
I definitely agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
That DD versus Macho Man rivalry they had back in WCW.
Yeah.
That was a classic, bro.
I mean, but that's the thing, because like Jericho's been able to stay relevant within wherever he was. Because I mean, I know like initially, sure, like he was like a cruiserweight guy, but he was always in the cruiserweight picture, right? And then as he moved up, he just he didn't move back, which is a good thing.
Right.
And I don't think people understand either, like how like Jericho like reinvents himself every single time. Like that list of Jericho was one of the most corny stuff that you could watch, but it was the way he put it over, bro. Like, cause it was just so funny, bro. Like,
Right.
Jericho's a funny dude, so it's like he put it over so good.
It
Man,
worked.
you can't put a lot of wrestlers into that type of category and think they're gonna do it like that, bro.
Oh no, he's got. I wonder if that's the guy from his band, because he's got somebody playing his intro. He's basically doing what Shinsuke Nakamura does, but he doesn't have a violinist. He's got a guitarist. But man, I've been a big Jericho guy for forever. Like ever since he was the TV champ and said that if you have a TV, he is your champ. And I was like, dude's got a point.
Oh, my favorite was him and Goldberg little feud.
Oh, that's so.
That was just good TV at that time.
And I was watching that. It was a YouTube channel. I just watched it recently, and I kind of get more of an understanding of like what was going on. I think it's called Wrestling Bios.
Mm-hmm.
And they were breaking it down. They was talking about, how Jericho wanted to do more, parody stuff or whatever, and Goldberg wasn't feeling it. Like, I guess Goldberg was taking it as a diss, and he was trying to, do some other stuff too, man. But the way I was thinking about it the way the dude was explaining like what Jericho was trying to do, I understood what Jericho was trying to do, and it would have helped Goldberg, be that much better.
Yeah, in the long run.
Yeah, but I mean, Jericho's had some good ideas, so that could have been something that would have at least stood out for Goldberg and made him look a little not so generic all the time,
Like a creative character.
But like, I mean, I get like he probably at that point, and even still, Goldberg knows that all he has to do is just kind of be there and do a couple things and get the big paycheck. And somebody, I don't know who it was, but I was listening to it on the Chick Foley podcast, which I am a huge supporter of. A little plug there. But they were talking about how somebody put out the statistic, or they drew attention to it, that Goldberg's actual run as a wrestler was like a couple years, and he's been a nostalgia attraction for what, like 4 times that, basically.
Yes. Facts.
Makes sense.
But people don't believe The Rock stint was really a short stint too.
So it was like Kurt Angle had a short one as well,
Right.
I mean, in the WWF anyway.
Yeah, WWF, right.
Like,
Rock was really 96 to 2000, like theoretically 96 to 2002.
And Stone Cold was about the same.
Yeah, about the same. Because 2004 was his last year.
Because I mean, it was like the King of the Ring. Was it 96?
Yeah, 96.
Where he kind of like got things going, and then he was gone in like what, 2001 or 2?
I want to say it was probably 3.
But actually, you have to
that whole GM thing.
But in some ways, you got to take away some of the time.
Oh yeah, he did, because he walked out.
And he wasn't really wrestling anyways for a long time,
Right.
So he was kind of like so if you look at it as his involvement time frame versus his wrestling time frame, it is a little bit different, right?
Right. Because he was out once when his neck broke, and then he was out again after the Rikishi and Triple H storyline where he got ran over by a car. So he was out a year from that.
So yeah, so his in-ring run was, but so that's why when you look at some people, it's like they had short runs, but they did enough in them to make up for it, you know?
Right.
And then you have other people that just have been around for so long and have
The
practically nothing.
consistence.
They're just there, you know?
Like, well, I mean, that's where you get your Undertakers, your Chris Jerichos.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like for Jericho and stuff, like, I mean, he's still wrestling right now. You can make the argument that he's not where he was years ago, you know, because he's years older, obviously. But when you look at what goes into these things, he's still out there making something happen, you know?
Right.
So that's respectable in itself. And
he gonna do way more than most of those part timers will.
right.
And
about trying to come back to WWE, man. If you don't sit your old tail down somewhere with all that.
I mean, Jericho has left the company multiple times over the years. He's left multiple times for a long period, but he comes back. He does a full-time schedule, and then whenever he feels he needs to go, he goes.
Because I think his last run, Jesus, was that? Wow. Okay, they're like one of those poles at him. Like, you know how when you see like a table or whatever, like what the top of the table sits on, like those metal bars or whatever. Huh. That looks unhealthy to take. But yeah, like I think his last run when he came back, I think he was mostly just kind of. I think he was mostly doing a lot of like off-camera stuff, you know, like the house shows and things like that.
Yeah.
And I can see how that would be a little more entertaining because, you know, you don't have to deal with like all the storyline. You just go there, do your match, and have fun.
Right.
Let's see. What is he saying here? Wrestling Bios, the best wrestling YouTube channel. No debating. And tell you behind the scenes history and everything. All right.
Yeah, that guy breaking down some signs, bro. Like he definitely got a lot of insiders, and he definitely reads, I guess, a lot of the books and stuff that tell each side of the story.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like a lot of times, what it takes is just like a lot of pulling together the various information over the years, and then you just kind of. Then you have it, right? And then you just share it all as a one-stop shop sort of thing. Because I know there was, what was it, like with like the Benoit thing, you know? Because a lot of that stuff came out during the Dark Side of the Ring episode.
Dark Side of the Ring,
like,
yeah.
I had, over the years, like just from paying attention, like I had known a lot of it. But then, you know, there's obviously going to be some things that you just don't know because they chose not to release it and not to make it public or whatever. And then there's things like some of it's just completely new, like when Jimmy Snuka basically killed that woman. So, I mean, there's no other way around. It's like, I mean,
cocaine.
It's like you can cover it up and say like, well, we didn't really look into. It's like, look, we all know what happened. Like. But I think he ended up like not going to court because he was basically like old and practically crazy or something. But yeah, I tell you, there's probably all kinds of skeletons in that closet, like the Vince McMahon closet.
I said you'll never know. I said I can only imagine how many skeletons Vince got in that closet that he paid off over the years.
Right.
Who knows what was going, especially during like the Attitude Era or whatever. Like, who knows what they were doing behind the scenes?
I'm thinking about the '80s era.
Oh, I'm saying like that too, but I'm just saying like
that was
look at like the later '90s, like the stuff they were doing on camera was a little crazy. Who knows what they were doing off camera?
Oh man. Well, I mean, look, nobody's had. Look, I'm surprised. You would think Vince would be one of the ones that somebody would come out on. After all these years,
I mean,
true.
That's true. Like, I guess people like just don't want him coming after them.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, the guy's a billionaire, so
I mean, they got a lot. They went after who was Stormy Daniels, tried to go after Trump.
That's the thing. Like, I mean, he's got a bit of a reach, right?
Yeah.
I mean, then the States for sure, you know.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Not saying like, because that's the thing. Like, if it wasn't for AEW, right? If you were a really good wrestler, like, and you knew that like everybody wanted you, like, and you wanted to make the money that you knew you could, he's mostly like up until recently was the only avenue for it. I mean, you can go to Ring of Honor or Impact, but they just don't have as deep of pockets.
Yeah, that's why you kind of had to go to New Japan or some overseas promotion.
Right. But then again, like, not everybody's really trying to do all that either, you know?
Right.
Like, if you got like a family and you're trying to be around them, you may not want to be flying off to Tokyo every other week.
Right.
Like, when I was watching before AEW started and the Young Bucks had that Being the Elite show, well, they still have it, but they used to show is more like a travel vlog, honestly. And you'd watch it and they're like, yeah, so we got to fly back over to do this show at Ring of Honor for Saturday, but then we got to be back over here to do this taping at the Tokyo Dome on Tuesday. And like, man, this is like you're flying all over the world to have like a match at a time in these different places. I mean, that probably is kind of cool at first, and maybe to an extent you get used to it, but man, I don't know that I'd want to live that life on a long-term basis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could.
I was looking at a Kenny Omega. I think that was not a documentary, but a day in the life of. And I think he was kind of going through the same thing. Like, he's going from show to show, and then he goes to Tokyo, does his stint over there. I think it was in the thick of his Bullet Club run.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because like at that point he was, because I guess I think he was only working Japan, because a lot of the other Bullet Club guys work in Japan and also like Ring of Honor.
Right.
And I think even like a lot of the independent shows too, if it fell on the right day. But I think Omega, it probably made sense for him to only work the big Tokyo matches because, just to kind of stay healthy for one. But then when they'd have like the what was it, the G1 climax?
G1, yeah.
And that would be, because I think him and certain other people, they'd have like, what would it be, like almost 10 matches in the span of like 10 days?
Yes.
If you went to the end. Huh, look at MJF really moving here. It's not every day you see him break out one of those moonsaults from the rope to the outside. But yeah, the wrestling life overall just seems rough. So like, part of the reason
I don't want to do it. I don't think I could have that mental capacity type thing to be doing that. Like, knowing that I'm only gonna come home like maybe a week or two out the whole year.
Yeah, I think it was Bret Hart would say, somebody used to throw around the number of basically being gone like 300 days a year. Like, that's a lot, right? I mean, maybe for the again, for like the Shawn Michaels of the like 90s and stuff, that it didn't matter because you're just like, yeah, man, that's where the cocaine is. Sure. But if you got like a family, again, you probably aren't really about that. And just I look at it as just like, I can't believe their bodies take it for as long as they do,
Right.
I mean, even past like people like Mick Foley doing the extra stuff. Like you look at even like The Miz, right? Who doesn't have a crazy like set of moves or anything, but still like to work like he does as often as he does, it's pretty impressive.
So I think about the way they train, man. Like they have to train like differently, like than most athletes, because like I said, I know that stuff got to do a lot to your body. I know mentally,
But
man.
I do think they're a lot more healthier though than wrestlers back then, because a lot of wrestlers now going through tables and chairs and ladders.
Oh yeah, they scale back on that like on a daily, regular basis. You know, not all those chair shots to the head and
right.
You know, ECW isn't a thing, which is kind of a good thing. And now again, it's like now there's still the whole thing of just like the activity of say being like a Rey Mysterio or whatever, like in his younger days, like that's still gonna wear on your joints, right? There's no question about it.
I still don't see how Rey's knees is taking it at this point in his career.
Man, they must be like cybernetic. You know?
At this point.
They can't be real anymore. Oh, look at Jericho with the lion salt. Yeah, but yeah, I see that because I know he's gone away for injuries a time or two, and it seems like when he does, he kind of comes back bigger. But I think that's probably in his best interest, like because for Rey Mysterio, if he was to stay in this at the size he was 20 years ago, not gonna last very long, right?
Right.
But you know, you bulk up a little bit, kind of helps you take those impacts, I would assume. But then you look at people like the Big Show, it's like, or Mark Henry, you know, just the act of just traveling around all the time. That just.
And I think both of them had hip replacements.
I'm sure they did, like just given the size of them and all that. But man, that's more power.
Somebody showed the X-ray of Hulk Hogan's spine from doing them leg drops all of them, like how compressed and jagged his spine was, like once he was done.
Oh man, I can
only imagine how that moment looked.
And that's honestly that's the one thing that I would often think about with you guys remember Psychosis, right, from WCW?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like he had like the top rope leg drop.
That crazy, that super high leg drop.
And don't get me wrong, it looked amazing. But like I can't imagine what his body feels like right now, like when he wakes up in the morning.
But Psychosis wasn't carrying all that weight. Like Hulk
I mean, I know he didn't have the weight, but still, like he's on the top rope and jumping like day in, day out. Like that leg drop, it had to still take its toll on him, you know.
That was like Matt Hardy. He got away from doing the leg drop a lot because of the same issue. He was doing like an elbow drop or some forearm smash off the rope. He stopped doing the third rope and started doing the second rope.
And it's kind of sad when you see some of the guys like when I went down for the AEW show in Charlotte. I think I mentioned it. Like the hotel that I stayed in was the same hotel that all the wrestlers were staying in, right? So I saw like Mark Henry and stuff walking around in the lobby, and it wasn't like just like just strolling on through. No, not at all. It was like it looked like some pain. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like when he was like, because he was at some little desk trying to like get his laptop set up so he could do something or whatever, and it's like, man, that dude looks like he is not okay right now, which sucks, you know. Because he gave up a lot of his well-being just so he could kind of entertain a bunch of people he doesn't know, honestly. But
I got to attribute some of that to that powerlifting too.
Oh well, yeah, there is going to be that aspect of it too. Like, because did you guys see the show he did with Stone Cold, the Broken Skull episode?
Yeah.
Who?
With that Mark Henry and.
Yeah, I watched that one.
Yeah, like how he talked about how he left that world, and then I guess he needed to go back and prove like that he still had it, like in the powerlifting and strongman stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then so he went back, left wrestling for however long, got back to that, and then won. You know what I mean? That was crazy. And then came back to wrestling. So yeah, he's definitely put his body through some stuff. Man, this might be Jericho's. I just don't have the feeling that this is going to be Jericho's last match.
Ooh, well, Jericho, you will never know, man. Leaves, he goes somewhere else. He still wrestles. I mean, I don't know, man.
He's going back to Tokyo.
So they did one of the controversy endings. You know how like somebody takes the move and then they're by the ropes and the referee doesn't see them put their foot on the rope, so they still count to 3.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Okay, now they're bringing the other referee out. Oh, so now they go. So this is where things get inconsistent, right? Now, I don't like to complain about wrestling because it's wrestling, but what I don't get is how today in wrestling, on this day, one referee from the back sees some injustice happen and comes out to correct it. Any other day, like nobody comes out and does anything. Titles are changing hands, babies are being kidnapped or whatever, and that's it. It's like everybody sees it, but nobody says anything. So you got to pick one, If you're gonna do this, double down and do it all the time.
That's like the arm drop thing. I remember when they used to, during the submission, they'll lift your arm, and if it falls 3 times, then the match is over. Now they just tap your hand and it's over.
Just roll over. For this to be the man of 1,004 holes. Okay, that's what I have to say. So again, consistency. I tell you, like we're gonna have to do one of these as a group or something sometime. Just all watch this together so we can critique these things. Maybe on the next what's the next pay-per-view? What is? I don't even know.
What is the next pay-per-view?
Because
is it for any promotion or just AEW?
What just happened?
AEW's next pay-per-view, or I think Extreme Rules coming up for WWE.
I have no idea.
That's look. I haven't been watching it as consistent as I usually.
Bro, like I've been really watching more of the AEW, man. Like
my girlfriend finally gave AEW a try. I said, "Look, you'll love it."
Man,
she used to watch WCW all the time. She never liked WWE.
So it probably just looks very familiar. It's the same channel. It's a lot of the same people. Tony Schiavone.
Right. The same. Well, I was about to say the same family is booking matches. The Rhodes family.
Yeah, so it's a very familiar thing. But man, like Jericho just went for. You remember how Jericho used to do the lion tamer when he like get one of his knees in the person's back?
Yeah, around the head, on the head.
Yeah, he tried to do that with MJF, and I think he was about to lose his balance. So he just kind of sat down and made it look more like a Boston Crab than anything. But he did win, which is what I assumed would happen. I was hoping that this MJF and Jericho thing would just be over now. Because, like, they had a series of matches before. Now it's just going to keep on going. But up next, it's a CM Punk versus Darby Allin. So that should be interesting, to say the least. I just can't believe he was. I'm curious to see how this match goes, given that he's been out for 7 years, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm sure he's had, like, I would assume they have, like, a practice area, you know, kind of like how NXT has all those, that performance thing.
Right.
So I'm sure he's been kind of running through and going over things, getting back into shape to actually wrestle. But it can't be the same, you know what I'm saying? Like, as actually doing it.
I mean, we said that about Edge. Edge didn't do it for what, 7 years? No, it felt longer than that.
I think his was like 9. Oh,
Yeah.
McFly, what is going on?
Yo, what's good, McFly?
Just sitting here watching this pay-per-view, you know, seeing what's gonna unfold before our very eyes.
How old is Punk? What is he? 43, 44?
That's a good question. I don't know. I feel like you're not far off though. I'm gonna look that up though, because I'm a little curious. Let's see. He is 42.
42? Oh, all right. Well, thank God.
Because he's, for his style, like he's still young enough to do that. You know what I mean?
Right. Because I was actually thinking about AJ Styles. I'm like, okay, if AJ's.
Well, AJ Styles is like, that's just completely different. You know what I mean? Because like,
Yeah,
he's older. I'm sure he's older than. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think he's probably like maybe two years older.
Yeah. You're exactly right. He's 44, but he still does a lot of active things in the ring. You know?
Right.
What are you so tired from there, McFly?
450s.
Right. Like McFly must have had a long day or something doing all those.
I mean, he's not doing Phoenix splashes anymore or anything like that, but I mean,
yeah, AJ was crazy. Well, I won't say crazy, but a lot of the things that he was able to do and probably still can, like
that running shooting star over the top rope to
yeah,
the outside
right,
and stuff like that.
I saw him do one off off the cage, or I don't know, like those X Division matches back in the TNA days made for instant highlight reels. Carowinds. Oh, okay. I never went to Carowinds. I used to hear about it all the time back when I lived in South Carolina, and I think I saw the exit for it when I was going down to Charlotte last month or 2 months ago, but never been. But yeah, I appreciate you stopping in, though. That does sound like a very full day. My sister, she's supposed to be coming by so we can go to Busch Gardens at some point. It's over in Williamsburg. Same thing. That's a theme park though, because like they have the park broken down into like different stages, or not stages, like different regions of Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Is he like intentionally skating that slow? I've never seen a skateboard go so slow. I don't know how he does that. But yeah, man. So I totally get where you're coming from. That is, that's a day and a half right there. But I mean, yeah, of course, you're free to jump in if you want to jump in for a few minutes and say anything about anything. We're just kind of hanging out right now, just talking a little bit about wrestling, obviously. I know you have a thing to say about that.
Wrestling.
Yeah. This is like what, my second live for today? Because I did that recap earlier.
With Aiden. Yeah, with Aiden.
So that was cool, you know, switch it up just a little bit.
What time was it in Aiden's time zone?
I forget how it works. England is either 5 or 6 hours after me, but it's based off of if we're in daylight savings time or not, because they don't do that. But I think it was 6 for him, PM. So not terrible, you know. Let's see. Hold on a second. I was very sure that... No? Oh, there. Where is that? Oh, it's no longer available. Okay. But yeah, I was sitting back and I was like, let me see. Because like he had put up a question the other day about what videos people might want to see him do on his channel or whatever, or what might want to see him do over the weekend. And I was like, oh, maybe you should do the sneaker recap with my channel or whatever, however I phrased it. And he was like, sure. I was like, oh, all right, cool, let's do it.
Yeah.
Man, Punk is walking. I don't know, these boots he has on. They made him kind of walk a little weird for a second there. Hopefully, he's still got some mobility down there. He looks a little better now, but he was walking kind of like RoboCop for a second. You guys, I didn't see it when it happened, but you guys know that RoboCop had a little run in WCW with Sting?
Yes.
Like, that was the most ridiculous thing that I heard. Like,
what I'm about to say, what Universal character didn't have a run at this point in WCW? I feel like we had every Mortal Kombat character run through there as well. What, Glacier was supposed to be Sub-Zero or something like that?
I mean, Glacier was kind of cool though, but I was also in the middle of high school, so that might have played into that. Man,
whatever new movie was coming out, I felt like there was going to be a new wrestler with that same gimmick soon to follow.
Okay, you know what? CM Punk is in pants, and I think that's what's making this look weird. Because I mean, he was always like a shorts guy, from at least what I saw. You know,
yeah,
like,
he always early career he had looked like basketball shorts or beach shorts. Like it was long shorts at the time. Then he went to the trunks and
yeah,
if he's wearing pants, that's something different.
I saw him say something recently in well, I didn't see him say, but I saw people talking about it, like on the Jim Cornette thing. I guess somebody had asked if like he would sell them his like ring gear. And he was like, I'm not selling another man my underwear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's, yeah, like that's a little weird, right? So, what was he saying? Is he actually in a, yeah, this is his first match in a while. And since the beginning of 2014, right?
Yep. January 2014.
Since, because he walked out from Royal Rumble. He left the arena and just never showed up again until last month.
I think that was Raw. That was that Raw. That Raw after the Royal Rumble.
Oh, wasn't the Raw? I thought he just left from the. I thought his last appearance was.
Yeah, because he got eliminated from the Royal Rumble, and they said the next night on Raw, that was the day he walked out.
But I do like the paint jobs this Darby Allin guy does. You know, it looks very interesting. Let's see. He said, "Let me hurry up and get this shower pro." Yeah, I could see that. Like you've been around, like you've been outside all day. Though it hasn't been very hot over here lately. Like usually it's super humid. Man. And they got all the pro wrestling tees guys in the front row here. I give those guys so much of my money. Like it isn't. Oh, it's not even funny. But you know that's why I have all these different shirts to wear in these reviews, right?
Yeah.
But man, it's just weird to see.
Now Foot Action's trying to get everybody's money.
Oh, did you see the Junkyard Dog shirt? Oh, wait, no, I showed you that.
Yeah, you sent me that one, and then I think they put 2 more shirts out.
Yeah, because they have, I want to say they have a Kurt Hennig and a Mr. Perfect, a Kurt Hennig and a $1 Million Man shirt, and Macho Man. But I have my eyes on that Junkyard Dog one. But they still have the ones from the last ones that we bought, like the like how they have
Sasha Banks.
Yeah. Because I saw the Ron Simmons is like $15 on there, so I might pick that one up. But
I gotta go. check that out too.
Yeah, man. Go on, head on over to Foot Action. If you type in WWE, it'll pull up all the shirts, you know. But that Junkyard Dog.
I think they had Rey Mysterio one for like $8.99 or something like that.
Oh, like that has like the graffiti style.
Yeah.
McFly, yeah, you're right. It was a Wale thing, but because he did those ones for WrestleMania time frame, and then he was involved with the Junkyard Dog and whoever else this time around.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not a huge fan of that price premium, but I'm hoping that these ones stay in stock for a while. Also, because $35 is kind of a lot for a shirt, right?
Right.
I thought they were going to be a little more limited when the last pair came out or the last set came out. Because I bought.
Yeah, that's why I'm always looking for coupon codes.
Yeah, because I bought 3 of them. You know, because I was thinking, let me just get in here now and get like a decent WrestleMania shirt for me and the mom and the dad when we head out to Dallas next year.
I'm trying to remember there was a wrestling collab Foot Action had, but it sold out real quick. I can't remember what shirt it was though. I wanted to. Oh, it was that. It was the New Day. It was one of the New Day shirts.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
but New Day. Like it was red, all black with infrared on there.
I must have missed that one then.
Yeah. Once I get back once we get more power back in my crib, I'll have to snap a picture of that one.
Yeah, man, that's because I know you're not running at full capacity down there just yet.
Yeah, I have kind relatives and neighbors.
Well, that's probably the only way to really get through that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Times like that.
Right. They're banking for Wednesday of this week, but you never know.
Okay. Well, that's because how long has it been out?
The power's been out since what it was. I want to say the Saturday. That was last Saturday.
Man, that's a stretch. Yeah, because there have been times where like they'll turn off. I don't think our power has ever really just flat out gone out over here, but it has been, turned off, like kind of like a premature sort of just in case thing.
Right, like a blackout, a regular blackout.
But I think that it's probably just to kind of mitigate the possible problems that they could have. Mm-hmm. But man, it still sucks, and I can't really complain because it's a problem over here, right? It's like the worst thing we deal with, but the worst thing we deal with doesn't compare to the worst things that other people deal with. You know what I mean?
Right.
So in that way, that's why I don't want to really complain about it.
Right.
Where does all the flood water go? In Iowa, it just goes back into the Mississippi. I've seen it happen. It is a slow process, but it does just, because as the river kind of flows, it eventually kind of takes the rest of it with it. But man, like seeing those floods, luckily, my grandparents, they lived on this big hill, so I could look out into the city and see. It was weird though, because you see all this water up into the city. And it's just it looks surreal, Yeah. I mean, at the time I was really young, so I didn't really think as much about it. But now looking back at it, it's just that's what we get for living right there, level with the Mississippi. You know what I mean? So it's kind of on us, but still, you just hope that it just doesn't come to it. Yeah, he's saying 1 day 6 feet of water. Yeah, I mean, once it stops raining and things kind of get back to normal, yeah, sure. But even then, like when all the water does leave, you still got to deal with all kinds of everything else.
It's the after.
Yeah.
Yeah, what it was? It was that Monday when we were finally able to go outside. I swear, this creek, I never realized how high the water could go on there. And then it was like the creek rose all the way to over the street. It was like high as the cranes that was in this creek.
Man. Yeah, I can't think of how high I saw it when I last did. Just because, when you're looking at land, it's kind of hard to gauge. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But again, just looking at how far into land it came, that says a lot right there.
Yeah, I think the craziest things I seen was some of the New Jersey and New York images.
Wait, hold on a second. The book is about pyramids on the Mississippi River. I have not. They're not in Iowa. I can tell you that. So McFly's about to break out some conspiracy theories on it.
They got y'all straight out there with the sneaks?
It's like sometimes I see people tagging me like some random videos or random posts on Instagram. I'm like, what does this have to do with me? Yeah, I guess because it's a Yeezy. So
you're the self-proclaimed Yeezy guy now.
I mean, I can't argue it.
Oh no.
So I guess they're talking about how like the color change and stuff. Because I guess you have to actually take them outside for the color change to happen, like on the actual strip. Because you know how the Yeezys have that strip on the side, like that plastic piece.
Yeah.
That it only changes if you actually go outside. Like the black light isn't enough to do it. The black light
that's a dope feature.
The black light will make the actual fabric change color, but not the actual strip.
What, this nigga asleep?
He might be. I don't know.
Look.
He said he was way down the rabbit hole. One of those pro-black websites. Saying like the UV, yeah, because I saw like the UV, saw something about the UV lights and all that stuff. But like I did an unboxing review, so it was one of those ones where I wasn't outside, so I just shine the old black light. That's why I keep the black light handy. Like if I ever get like some glow in the dark type stuff or whatever, I can see what it looks like, right?
Right.
I think it was McFly was talking about black lights when he used to do more Funko videos or something. But I picked one up and it has been pretty handy, It was like I think $8 maybe. And the convenience is definitely there. Found out that my Naomi figure, she's got this glow in the dark jacket thing on. Didn't know that until like a week or two ago. That thing has been on this shelf for months, and I never noticed that she glows in the dark. And it's like a pretty solid glow too.
That lights police issue.
But yeah, man, I do like I was saying though, going back to that particular 350. I'm not a huge fan of that particular shoe. I think it's cool that they did that, right? It's a cool feature. I would have preferred them to do it with some different colors. But I'll probably have to wear those to work next week or something like that, just to see what they're all about. Man. So again, it's just weird. know people really want to see CM Punk back in the ring for a while. It's like, but what sucks is that it's so late in the show because this show has been going since 8. It's now almost 3 hours later. And more than likely, there was something before the show, right? There's probably they probably taped something before the show, like Dark or Rampage or whatever. So these people have probably been sitting for a good 4 hours. And they probably stood in line for like an hour or so before that. So at this point, they're probably done with everything. Because I know I went to one of the, like I said, I went to the show back in July, and I think we were there, let's see, 7 to 8 was something, and then 8, 9. Yeah, it was 4 hours. No, it's like 4.5 solid hours of watching stuff. You know?
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I'm trying to remember which year this was. It was like one of them super shows for WWE. I think we were taping 205 Live, and I think whatever other show it was, and 205 came on directly after the SmackDown show.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is too much. It was a dark match, a few dark matches, SmackDown, then 205 Live.
I mean, because I get why they do it, and it does add some extra value for your money, but like you get tired. I mean, I went to a Ring of Honor taping once, and I didn't realize that they taped 4 weeks worth of TV in one night. I thought it was just like a weekly show, so I was like, yeah, I'll probably be there for like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Man, it just kept going because it's 4-hour-long shows, and they probably had to like clean up between things and all this stuff. Oh God, what's McFly saying? The 380s, his favorite easy color change will be. Yeah, I think the color change when they do it in the right color is going to really pull some people in. And Slam had it. Yeah, oh my God, SummerSlam was. I was just sitting here and watching it, and I was just like, I just wanted it to be over, and it just wouldn't stop.
Yeah, WrestleMania is that drag that longer it felt like.
Oh God, like I don't remember how long what was that WrestleMania? I don't remember how long the New Orleans one was, the most recent one. But
I think that was like 5 hours maybe.
But I remember being in that arena for a long time, but I remember more so about the previous year, because that year was Orlando and was like outside.
Right.
You know, it's like the New Orleans one was cool because we were indoors. You know what I mean? But oh my God, it was rough.
Those outdoor arenas. Oh my God.
Man, like my first WrestleMania was outdoors. It was the Shawn Michaels Undertaker round 2 in Phoenix of all places. And I was on the side opposite of the sun. And the Phoenix sun is brutal. Like oh my God, I was like, man, I need to just go home, get on this flight and leave this land.
Sheesh.
Let's see. What's going on here? Oh, real double E. E. Yeah, the real E. You know what I'm saying. It's a little complicated. A complicated name there. What? Uh-oh, is this it? Is this the go to sleep? Nope. Blocked it, countered it, and now he's going for not a sharpshooter, but he's going for that thing. It's a very cool looking pin. It looks like he's going for a sharpshooter or something, and then he turns it into a pin. Sun burning Melanie. Oh man, it was because they opened it and they just kept it open for so long. Then they did like the little jet flyover thing for like the anthem song.
The anthem, yeah.
And then they closed it, and I don't think anybody that wrestled that night got a larger ovation than when they closed the ceiling for that venue, whatever that was called. Man, it was
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just spoiled. I can never get used to the outdoor arenas because I done sat in the blistering cold and at the top of the stadium, and I'm like, oh my God, I never do that again, man. Whatever the wind chill was, I was like, okay, it's 30 degrees, but the wind chill made it like 10.
Yeah, I definitely remember those times, like, because I didn't go to any shows in weather like that, but I've lined up for some shows though. You know what I'm saying? Like concerts, whatever. And like, I don't know if it's really been shown much, but like the way you see me dressed, like for the most part, is how I dress pretty much year round, whatever the situation is. So I'll go outside and it'll be kind of cool out, but I'm thinking like I shouldn't be outside very long, and then I'm going to be inside for a long time. So I just got to hold myself together for a few hours, you know? Let's see. I mean, I don't know. I don't think E Double read the actual title of this live. The answer is right there in front of you, big guy. But yeah, like the weather situation, man, for those outdoor events. And like the first time I saw the Chili Peppers, the first time I went to an outdoor concert, it rained all night.
Oh my God.
All night. And I was on the back of the amphitheater, so I was in the rain.
I don't know. I could deal with it raining during the concert. I hate when it rains before and then the mud settles, and I hate being at the concert during that time. I'm good if it's raining while we're there, cool. But don't rain and then be a mess when we done.
Dude, like when I went to Riot Fest 2015 in Chicago, it was I forget what the name of that park is, but when I landed, it started raining and it poured and poured and poured some more.
What it was, Millennium Park?
No, it wasn't that one. I was about to say Zilker Park, but Zilker Park is Atlanta. I mean, Austin, excuse me. But it was just raining like crazy, and it stopped, later that day or like the next morning or something. But the damage was done. So like we're at a 3-day festival. It was muddy for the next 3 days, man. Like I wore a pair of Air Max 2012s there that still need to be cleaned from that.
We just like I said, just get a pair of Chucks.
Oh yeah, okay, now I hear it. I'm gonna go ahead and move the sneakers out of there. Oh, did Jeezy just fall out of the stream? I don't know what happened there. He was just there, now he's not. So now it's just me then. But yeah, what? Okay, there he is. Now he's back.
Oops, sorry about that.
No problem. But yeah, that's crazy. Like, so CM Punk did win, right? That was my prediction, so that's cool. And honestly, I don't think it's one of those things where him beating Darby doesn't derail Darby in any kind of way,
right?
Because it was like a solid back and forth match. Punk just,
experience.
He's the better man, right?
Right.
So if he's going to lose to somebody, this is one of the best losses to take. It's kind of like when Ruby Riott came back earlier,
Right. Like I said, it doesn't diminish Darby's credibility.
No.
But I mean, would you have him debut and lose?
Right. And I wouldn't doubt that they're going to have a match again.
Right.
And it's going to be better because, CM Punk will be a little more, back in the swing of things.
Mm-hmm.
Not that this one will seem bad or anything, but yeah, that's just what I'm thinking. They'll have another match, and then Darby will probably win that one. And it's also CM Punk's hometown, like,
right.
you know what I mean? If he lost here,
they will riot. If CM Punk loses, we riot.
Right. Punk and McFly. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So he's definitely the best in the world tonight. But and McFly said he's going to be undefeated longer than Goldberg. And Goldberg's wins. I have been saying it for 25 years, probably, or however long. Goldberg's wins did not count to me. Maybe, okay, if you beat Glacier 18 times, that's like one real win, okay? So I'll give him that. But you can't go out here and be like, oh man, he just beat, the guy that sweeps up after Shotgun Saturday Night is over or whatever. Like, no, that doesn't mean anything. Oh man, there's still a Paul White versus QT Marshall match. This pay-per-view is turning into a SummerSlam. Huh. I hope this is short, because it should be short. I want Big Show or Paul White to just go in there and destroy this man, just so this match doesn't last forever. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I feel like I've got my $20 worth out of this pay-per-view already. So they can end at any time. But I am curious to see how Christian versus Kenny Omega goes.
Right.
But Paul White, like, I'm a little surprised he's wrestling again, But because remember he was supposed to have a match with. Remember when he was supposed to have a match with Shaq? And because they built that up at WrestleMania. Which one did? I think they built that up in Dallas, and then they were supposed to have the match in Orlando.
So what was that? 33?
Yeah, it would have been a build at 32 for a match at 33.
Mm-hmm.
But then for whatever reason, it didn't happen. But Big Show was in some. Because he wasn't on TV at that time, and he was at home and got into some really good shape for nothing.
He lost all that weight.
Yeah.
I think what is he now? Like 350 now?
I have no idea.
I think.
All right, McFly, I'm going to need you to, and I know you're not talking right now, so I can only get so much out of you. I get it. But I'm going to need some kind of substance to back up that statement. Like, what do you dislike about him? Like, what annoys you about Christian? That's what I'm looking for here. Because I can see
to say that about Christian. I'm like, Christian is, he just what we were saying. You didn't appreciate him until, like, I guess when he really did branch off on his own. Like,
right.
We could say Captain Charisma, like the early stages of it. But I mean, when he got to TNA, that's when I started to really get a real appreciation for Christian.
Because I've been seeing it like recently. Because like I've heard, I always noticed from a lot of people would always say that he's really good. And then when I started watching his matches a little closer, I would see all like a lot of the little things he does. I'm like, okay, you know what, this guy is really good. Mm-hmm. But then like his delivery when he's like building up things or just, I mean, he can make the jokes and stuff. He can do that part of everything, but he can also really just kind of drive home his point like in a serious way when he needs to also. So I look at him and I'm like, man, this guy's doing all the things that this guy should be doing. But then McFly comes over here. He might just be jealous. You know what I'm saying?
Could be.
Yeah,
he was a Hardy Boys fan, so that's probably what.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because he's one of those Carolina boys.
Yeah, he probably mad Matt Hardy's not getting a push right now.
Yeah, typical hometown sorrow or whatever. What is that? But But yeah, he's. Oh wait, everyone has that one guy they hate for no valid reasons.
I try to keep a reason on everybody.
Yeah, because like I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll hold a grudge in some ways for like forever, right? Like Goldberg's streak has ruined him for me forever. Period. There's nothing he can do that will make me okay with him, right? Nothing. Like he could go out there and he could pay out of his own pocket to reopen every Toys R Us in the Hampton Roads general area. I still think he is trash. I'd shop at those Toys R Us's. Yes, I would.
Whoa. Real double E. Real EW. Wow. He said Jim Carrey.
Wait, what? I'm not seeing that.
Hold on. Yeah, it just came up on my feed.
Hold on, because like some. Oh, okay. It popped up on the StreamYard thing, but not on the YouTube. On the YouTube thing. It's one of those like comments get flagged or whatever. See, you got to control yourself, dude, or your comments get flagged.
You don't go after Jim Carrey like that.
But anyways, I am not going to go to that extent, but I am not a Jim Carrey guy. I remember walking out on Me, Myself, and Irene and just like standing in the lobby and just waiting on the movie to be over. Because I'm like, this is freaking dumb. You know? Let's see. Tell everyone how I feel about The Rock. Oh, well, glad you asked. He sucks, right? People were onto something when he first came around, and that's what they started chanting. And because he decided that he was bigger than the nation, no.
Rocky, die.
That is where he went wrong. Okay, this match is over. Fantastic. Actually, I had Paul White losing though, so I definitely lost on this one. But yeah, I just assumed there was going to be like interference, and then the Big Show wasn't going to win. So I wonder what my stats were looking like for tonight. All that was in you. Let's see. What was that thing called? PW.
This guy is playing with my Bluetooth.
Wait, what's going on?
Somebody's syncing their phone to my radio. I'm like, hold up.
You gotta turn off like sync mode or something. Which is weird that they can even do that, because I didn't know. Oh man, I am not doing so hot. Wait, what? Did they not? Oh, they didn't grade all these yet. Okay. Wait. Yeah, not all of these are graded yet. Okay, so I've been doing pretty well tonight. Okay, not good. All right, not bad. Not amazing. I've made some missteps, but overall, I'm doing okay. Wait, so that's going to be live Wednesday? I'm looking forward to that.
Look, I'm thinking about what McFly said. Triple H was that guy I hated for no reason, but over the years, I kind of.
Okay, I was entertained by Triple H in the DX era. I think everybody can say that. Looking back at it, I do question how entertaining was he really. Maybe I was more of a Shawn Michaels guy and he was just there and was okay by proxy. I don't really know. But not once have I ever said to myself, I need to go back and watch this Triple H match. Like, that's the problem with him for me.
Right.
Is that I just don't find him. I'm not going to say he's a bad wrestler, but I've never cared to rewatch anything he has done.
I've only watched matches that featured him because I was actually looking for another wrestler's match.
Right, like the Undertaker, Hell in a Cell, WrestleMania 2012.
Right.
That was a good one, right?
Right.
But they had they had some of the best minds involved in making that match. So whatever, right? Wait, how is Aleister Black not on this pay-per-view? That's weird to me. But so yeah, Triple H has been a part of some good matches, but they have done nothing for me. Like, and even like when I think like of other people that I do like if you say, oh, well, what are some of your favorite Shawn Michaels matches or your favorite Undertaker matches? None of them involve Triple H. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. Yeah, he's got the presentation is there, right? He'll get you going and like, oh man, like Triple H is here. Something's gonna happen. That matters for like 2 minutes, but because he did make a pretty cool entrance at WrestleMania with the Terminator vibe, but yeah, and is that Chappelle or Chapel? I'm never really sure, but Triple H is trash, he says, and honestly, like, yeah, because like I'll give him the NXT thing, right? Like, his mind is where it needs to be. Like, he built up NXT to be something that was worth seeing. Okay, cool. Because I don't think I've ever actually said it out loud or heard it out loud, but yeah. So Triple H definitely like did some things that were good for the NXT side, and I believe he was instrumental in like rehiring Samoa Joe, which was kind of a good thing. But again, that you just can wrap that up with NXT. But I'd have to hear like some like testimony of like what else he has done because I don't know, honestly. I just feel like there's really nothing else out there. Like he's just not being bad, but just not drawing your attention, It's like a cup of room temperature water, It's like it's fine. It'll get the job done. It's not winning any awards.
No, you're definitely right about that.
Yeah, so that's how I'm going to describe Triple H. A nice cup of room temperature water. So he married the boss's daughter. Yeah, like, well,
right. That was kind. I guess that kind of added to the. I don't like this guy.
Man, I'd like to know what happened to going back to the Christian thing. I'd like to know what happened to like the green shirt that they had in the Pro Wrestling Tees store because that's the one that I wanted. And I went on there to buy it, and now all they have is the orange one. So that makes me a little bothered. Triple H has buried a lot of people. I mean, I think the only one that I really know about that people talk about is Booker T at whatever year that WrestleMania was.
04?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
But past that, I mean, I don't really know. I can't speak on that with any sort of personal stake. Okay, you know what? This yellow one might be decent too, though.
I mean, WWE Raw at that time, that was basically just the Triple H show.
Oh, man, I forgot Christian is the Impact World Champion. Yeah, okay, maybe this shirt won't be so bad. Like I do like a little gray and yellow. If I bought those 4s last week, and this would go great with those.
Facts, Chappelle.
Wait, what?
Oh, Chappelle was making a comment.
All of the WC. Oh, like during the invasion or something?
Nah, during that what it was, the brand split era.
Oh, okay.
He basically did.
Oh wait, and also Sting at WrestleMania Dallas. I mean WrestleMania San Jose.
That was the last WCW wrestler he had to bear.
It's like
a decade later.
Luckily that ended up not being Sting's last run as a wrestler, like because his WWE run was it left a thing or two to be desired, right? Let's see. See there. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and look down on people's opinions because I think there's a lot of stuff that's boring that other people are into.
I
But
think Christian.
I think the Christian thing, and this is just me, right? Like, I think when you catch him in his element, that's when you see him at his best, you know. But he was just kind of like Edge's friend for a long time and just there, you know what I mean? But lately he's been kind of getting a better, I don't know, a better shake. I think that's the word people use.
Yeah, but Christian's always shined as a heel wrestler as opposed to being a face, like tactics wise, because I think that's what really made his matches. Like like how Eddie Guerrero fell into the lie, cheating, steal thing. Like even as a face, he had to continue. That was just his thing.
Right, and that's the thing. Like sometimes you can't be. For some people, you can't be unless you're like a full-on good guy because it doesn't quite work. You gotta keep what people like about you, but just kind of put a slight twist to it. You know, because sure, lying and cheating and stealing isn't good, but it can be helpful.
Right. I mean,
in the right circumstance, might be what the world needs.
Right, Ric Flair, he could low blow you and still get cheered.
Man, have you seen the Impact title lately?
I don't know if Christian was carrying both of them, the old one and the new one, and
like the TNA, because I think Moose had the old one for a while, and
the
dude, man, he used to dance a lot.
What was that? Tara Blatcher. She took it. She took
the black. Rich Swann had the newer one, and then I think Rich Swann won some match, so he like had both titles.
Right.
And then Kenny Omega beat him and took both titles, and now when Christian won, he retired the old belt and just kept the new one, which makes sense.
Right. But then they only bring that belt back because I think Blatcher had took it.
Wait, say that again.
Didn't they bring that belt back because your girl took it when she
Tessa Blanchard or whatever?
Yeah. I thought that was the reason they brought it back.
I figured they just made a new belt. I honestly have no idea what happened.
Yeah, she once she beat she won the belt, she quit with the belt.
Yeah.
And then I think something about her being in Mexico during COVID, she couldn't bring the belt back.
Well, that's a thing some women do. You know, Medusa did it, didn't she? She walked out somehow she left with a world title. Back in whenever that was. Oh, hey, Damien. I didn't know you'd come back in. All right, man. I'll catch you next time. Appreciate you stopping in and all that stuff.
Salute.
Catch you next time. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't really watch any. Going back to McFly's comments, said something about the AWA. I didn't watch any of that. I didn't watch wrestling on my own accord until '97. So by that time, it was just Raw and Nitro. Well, I guess there was Raw as War, and then there was the War Zone, since it was like two different shows technically somehow. I don't know.
Like he said, AWA, we was getting deep south.
Yeah. Man, Christian is a very lanky looking dude, though. he's like built like the Undertaker on a smaller scale, you know?
Right.
Let's see. Double, that's what they got. Oh, okay. I was like, double what? Okay, he's addressing double. Let's see. But oh yeah, I think you said like the AEW belt. Yes, the AEW belt does look pretty decent. It was a weird shape to me at first, but like once I saw it on somebody, then it made more sense. But like when I first saw it, I was like, I don't know about this.
It felt like they were trying too hard when they first presented it.
And they had Bret Hart presented, which I thought was kind of a cool thing. And then he never came back on the show.
Bret's a stickler for what looks like a world championship. He swears to this day his belt is the best belt.
I mean, you talking about like the one that Stone Cold had initially before like
before
the one with like the eagle on it or something, but like before the smoking skull.
What was it? The one he took it was the one he took from Shawn Michaels.
Because I know there have been some that were pretty solid, and there were some that were needed adjustment.
I mean, I call it the real Attitude Era WWE Championship. That wasn't a bad belt.
I'd have to look at all the pictures again now because like I feel like I'm picturing it, but not 100%.
They call it. It was called what? Big Eagle or something like that.
Okay, yeah. I just can't. I remember the eagle, but I can't think of what it looked like. I'll have to see if I can't pull up a picture on the old internet here, which is working a lot better than it did during that live earlier. I don't know what happened then. That was.
Chappelle's right. It does look like the old New Japan belt.
Yeah, well, yeah. Then the New Japan. Oh yeah, that is the one. Remember that? Yeah, that one was a pretty good design. What'd you think of the spinner belt that was it Cena had that for a while?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it lasted too long than what it should have. I felt like once Cena lost the belt, at least the first time, the second time, they should have just changed the belt into something else.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I understood why they changed it initially because one belt still said undisputed, and you had a world championship and an undisputed belt. So it's like, okay, it's no longer undisputed.
I think one of my favorites was probably, I mean, it's high up there, but like, remember when Daniel Bryan had the eco-friendly world title?
Oh like the one with the fake what was that? Stones?
It was
like wood and stone.
Yeah, it was like wood and burlap. It was like that. It was like those SVD A6 Gel Light 3s I have, but a belt, you know. But it looked really nice, though. I have that figure somewhere around here too.
Mm-hmm.
I forget when that was. Probably like in the 70s range, as far as WWE elites. He said the Smoking Skull was his favorite. Okay, but
I put Smoking Skulls in custom belts. Like, I mean, the spinner belt to me that was a custom belt. And I felt like that lasted too long than what it should have lasted.
Right. Speaking of custom belts, remember the Fiends had that custom belt?
Yeah, that Fiend belt was a dope belt.
I remember they had that on the WWE shop for like $6,000. I was like, who is buying this? They're sold out now, but people. I'm not spending like. I'd have a hard time spending $6,000 on any single thing, you know, especially something that offers no real functionality to me.
Right.
Let's see.
Remember when the spinner belt all of a sudden stopped spinning, like for a long period of time, like you just seen it was just there.
It was like a stationary thing.
Yeah.
It had the look, but not the effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. It's that one right. Smoking Skull's favorite, the hemp belt. Hey man, like that hemp belt was pretty nice though. But then Kofi Kingston won, and so they kind of had to get rid of it because it didn't work. Oh, look at Kenny Omega still breaking out the fancy moonsaults. I didn't like that belt. No prestige to it. Is he?
I think he talking about the spinner belt.
I don't know. All I know is he's got all caps, so he's yelling about something. He feels very strongly about the Prestige and that belt. Speaking of the Prestige, though, since it came to mind, amazing movie, in my personal opinion, of course.
Oh, Prestige.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good movie. Hugh Jackman, Christian Bale.
I watch that every so often. I like to wait until it's been a long time since I saw it,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know if it's just because I don't always pay enough attention, but I feel like I pick up something new in it, like that I didn't notice lots of the times when I'm watching it.
Right.
See, now that's just how I type. Okay, sure. He's like, no, that's just how I type. So that's how that's going on right now. I'm just like over here, like, all right, cool, dude. But no, that is like what I think when every time I see people like, because I'll get like random comments that'll be in like all caps or whatever, and I'm just like, calm down, dude. I get it. You like Yeezys or whatever the comment might be saying,
That's the excitement kicking in.
It's like, oh my god, it's a 350. Like, what? Let's see. The Ted DiBiase belt, like the $1 million title, or did he have like a?
No, it was the $1 million title.
And also, I kind of liked those colorful intercontinental belts,
Oh
like the
yeah,
Warrior era,
Yeah, when they had the white, the blue, the yellow, they would
And
just change the straps.
somebody, who was it? Was it the Miz?
Yeah,
I
the
think in
Miz.
his era had the white one for a while, and like Matt Cardona had the white one too.
It was Cody had bought it back. Cody Rhodes, the one who had bought the white belt back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when he was still working with the company, he had bought the white belt back.
Okay. Yeah, well, because like I know, so like I took a break from watching wrestling because I kind of slowed down for a while because it wasn't very interesting for a little bit, and then unfortunately, like when I pretty much stopped was when it got really good because that was like the popular era for SmackDown with like Edge and Benoit and Kurt Angle and all that stuff.
Right.
And then I got back into it around 2010 for a little kind of sort of because that's when I was going to the first WrestleMania,
Right.
And so that's around the time when like I remember turning on the TV and thinking like, well, because as a wrestling fan, it's etched into your brain that even if you're not watching, Raw is on Monday nights, period. And I remember turning on the TV and seeing CM Punk getting into it with Kevin Nash. And I'm like, I wonder what's going on here. And looking back at it, I still don't quite know.
Yeah, the match never happened.
And he's saying Cody is underrated. That is something that I might disagree with. I feel like he's rated properly.
Which run of Cody? You mean the AEW independent Cody or WWE Cody?
Or there's also like Bullet Club Cody, which was
right.
a little different too. And there was that period of time when he was just Cody, like when he had just left the WWE but hadn't started doing anything yet.
Right.
I heard he had a really good match with Kurt Angle in that time frame, and I would like to see that.
What show was that? Was that Ring of Honor?
No, I think it was just like a random independent show somewhere, honestly. So I will say that Cody and Dustin had a great tag team going for a while. Like Dustin had gone off and got in really good shape, and he came back and he was working like better than he had worked in a while,
Right.
And then they had like the tag belts where they looked like big pennies. Remember that?
Oh yeah, the copper belt.
Yeah.
I don't think WWE Cody was underrated. I think once creative got involved with that whole Stardust thing, but I mean, give credit to Cody, he made that character work.
He did as much with Stardust as one could do.
Yeah, that's
like,
I mean,
That's like saying oh, I don't know, Doink never quite made it to the main event. Like, well, of course, like, like he
there
took
was a
Doink.
story. There was a story about Red Rooster recently, and I was like, how far you think that character could go?
Yeah, like there's some things that just they have a peak. Like Triple H as Hunter Hearst Helmsley, like the blue blood or whatever that thing was, kind of had a ceiling to it, right?
Yeah.
Luckily, he was able to kind of change his persona, but still just kind of without it being like, oh, like I used to be this person and now I'm so and so, you know. Then
Who
like
else?
a Fabio Vega or Rikishi, and then you know, or
No, Rikishi definitely picked the right time to get out that what he was, the Sultan.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the Sultan again had a ceiling to
Right.
me, but
And
coming back as Rikishi, it's still it was a bit more believable that it could have some legs to it. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But again, with Triple H, he was able to make that adjustment. But all he really did was change his attitude slowly over time.
Right. A few cross chops and that,
Yeah.
and
You
you're a
know,
whole different person.
you know, you wear the collared shirts for a little while, but then you know you kind of let the hair down just a little bit.
Yeah, but Cody, I think he did have a decent run in WWE, but I think his ceiling with them was, I guess, Intercontinental.
Was he with
He was with Legacy.
Damian Sandow?
Yeah, for a short time he was. And
No.
Damian Sandow made it work with his gimmick.
Damian Sandow was clearly a star of sorts because he was able to do he was able to just make things work, you know, that weren't amazing. Like on paper, being a stunt double sounds stupid. But I saw that in action once when they came over to England, and I was like, okay, this is actually pretty entertaining, you know? And it
That
stuck for a while.
I think that, well, I mean, the greatest gimmick of all time to me will always be Orange Cassidy from here on out. I'm like, I could get behind that any day of the week.
Yeah, it is pretty good. Like I know some people like they say, oh well, no, like it's only gonna go so far or whatever. But I
It,
think it's just gonna be all in how they play it, you know?
right. I mean, that for in some terms, they think of it like as a wrestling fan, we like Orange Cassidy is like the running joke that only we get.
And hey, Steve Redmond, what's going on? He's saying that John Cena is the most overrated wrestler in history. I I would disagree in the sense that
He's consistent.
his role, right? Like he's reliable. Like he can put on a good match, he can put on a good promo, he can do all that crap that you would expect of someone who's in like the main event picture. But like at the same time, nobody's really talking him up. He's just being prominently featured. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like if anybody's like making him seem overrated, it's like, ooh, that did not look good. The spear off the side of the ring through the table, man. But yeah, he's. I wouldn't say he's overrated because he's proven that he can deliver on what you need him to deliver on in any setting. Remember, like especially like the match wise when he was doing those open challenges.
Right. I was just about to say his U.S. run gave an appreciation. Okay, he's not in the world title picture. He's actually trying to boost the mid card now.
Yeah, and because like he did that, and then that bled into, if I remember correctly, I think that bled into his run with AJ
Kevin
Styles.
Owens. Kevin Owens too.
And yeah, because yeah, so he's got some good things going, you know. Let's see.
He has 5 moves now.
Cena only has 4 moves.
Yeah,
He only
5
needs
now.
4 moves. Goldberg had 2, so he's doing twice as good as Goldberg. Stone Cold had like 3, right? He had the Luthez press with the punches.
The
He had
mud hole stomp.
he had the stomps in the corner, and he had the stunner. Oh wait, he had the what was the submission? The
chicken wing at the time.
Was it the chicken wing? I thought it was like the $1 million.
Oh yeah, it was the $1 million
But
dream.
but it's called something. Yeah, it was because he was with the $1 Million Man at some point. Yeah. So, I mean, not everybody has those deep move sets. They can't all be Ricochet. But actually, you know what? Really thinking about it, like I think on a realistic level, I think as far as signature moves go, I do feel like a lot of people do kind of top out at like 4. You know, like 4 or 5. You know, you look at like Mick Foley, he had his elbow to the outside and those running hips into the side of people and like the upside down thing, you know, the
right.
man on the ball, the
double arm DDT.
Right. What do they call it? Like the love cradle or something? I don't know. Didn't he have something else?
Mick Foley had 3 different gimmicks.
What did Cactus Jack?
Oh, the pile driver.
Yeah. He was a big pile driver guy.
Yes, I mean, he had 3 different gimmicks too.
Yeah,
different move for each one.
Right. Man, yeah, okay, yeah. Christian is definitely. I thought that looked bad when he went through that table. It looks like he's kind of cut, like right here, which is not an ideal place to be cut. Man. Let's see. He was a ringmaster. I remember. Well, I don't remember that because I wasn't watching then, but I know that it happened. But nowadays, the only ringmaster I recognize is the second Joker's card from the first deck, courtesy of the Insane Clown Posse. Huh, funny, they just mentioned Malenko. They mentioned it as, you know, Dean Malenko, not the great Malenko. But, you know. Let's see.
Top 5.
Wasn't Cena? No, he wasn't. Wait, what's going on here? And then there's Gallows and Anderson. Wait, is this like a no D? How is this happening? Oh, okay, the distraction piece. Uh-oh. Is this going to be it? Because there's no way that Christian is winning this match. Nothing against Christian, but I don't see them. I don't think that they want Christian to be the guy that beats Kenny Omega. I'm waiting on that last ICP out. Let's see, what's the next one? I can't think of what the name of the next one is. I know they just were talking about it not long ago. Because I didn't really listen to a lot of the last one, like Fearless Fred Fury. Like it just didn't really click for me. But I just bought an ICP shirt today, you know? Bought a lot of random shirts online. I gotta stop doing that. Closet's getting out of control. But you know, I was it's also kind of in my head because I just posted a story today. Was it? Yeah, I just posted a story today talking about ICP. So, you know, it's one of those things. I've been a pretty big fan of them since, actually, since the Jackal and the whole Truth Commission thing, because the oddities, you know. Because like Kurgan went on to the oddities, and then ICP was with them, and Luna, and was it Earthquake? I think was also in that. Is this gonna happen? They try this with Rich Swann, and ooh, man, that does not look good. That was the worst pin I've ever seen. Kenny Omega, man. Let's see.
That shirt's not available yet?
I mean, Have you considered going to like the AEW site? Like he works for them, so that's probably where his shirts are. You'd also go to Pro Wrestling Tees. They have CM Punk shirts. I just shared a story about Pro Wrestling Tees earlier, or maybe it was in the community.
We need those damn ice cream bars.
It's also very likely to be the first thing that pops up if you type in like CM Punk shirts into the old Googles. So the internet, in short, is the answer to that question. But this old CM Punk, I mean old Kenny Omega, you got me thinking about CM Punk now. Does he have like sparkling pants?
It could be.
And now somebody's walking out. Oh, the Young Bucks. They look like they're about to cry.
Kenny has a squad.
Oh yeah, Kenny, he's like the Wu-Tang Clan, you know? He's not a one-man operation.
So is Adam Cole, is he out officially?
Yes. Is he wearing those the light 350s? Every 350 looks alike. It could be the hyperspace. It could be the Yeshayas. Yeshawas? It could be the butters, could be the creams. Who knows? He's wearing some pair of light colored 350s. Maybe it's the naturals. Well, if you didn't see it there, keep looking. That's one site down. There's one more you can check. Otherwise, it might just be an at the show feature until they release it online. Sometimes they do that. Have those only at the show shirts.
Yep, I got a Brock Lesnar shirt that's only at the show.
This is now Luchasaurus is out there.
CM Punk won that match, Chappelle.
Huh? Oh, well, I'm sorry. I'm deep into the show again, you know?
Understandable.
Things are happening. I need to see what's going on. Somebody's going to come out and challenge this man. Okay, and then right on cue. Adam Cole just came out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
So
I didn't think he signed that quick.
Well, he was only on an extension.
Yeah, I think they said it was a verbal extension with NXT.
Yeah, because he only agreed to do the dates to finish up. Oh, he's wearing your gold toe ones. I forget what they're called, but you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if they're the patent leather ones, but it's like there's not a lot of Jordan ones with the black outlining and the gold toes that I can think of.
Is a majority black?
Actually is. That might not be.
I think they had like three. They had like three different versions of it.
No, because imagine the shadows, but with gold instead of gray.
Oh yeah. That's the gold. That's the There was the gold toes, and then there was that Complex Con exclusive one that had the mismatch.
But this is, man, Adam Cole and Kenny Omega. There's some history here.
Yep. Bullet Club. So he took
I'm
Bullet Club.
Very curious to see where this is gonna go. Oh, nah. It took the turn that people probably assumed it would. And so now he's with the Elite. Okay, so that should have seen that coming.
Yeah.
But Adam Cole, I don't know, man. Like, I don't see him being
The
I
guy.
don't see him being like the sidekick or just one of the crowd for too long. What?
Wait, wasn't? Oh yeah, it was Kenny that got that kicked Adam Cole out the club when he went to WWE.
Man, but yes, they definitely delivered on giving people some things they wanted to see happening.
Right.
Oh, Steve, we kind of talked about that a little bit earlier. I mean, I can see it happening. Like, given that they're just going in like a weird direction right now and just kind of getting away from what you expect of them, it seems like the writing's on the wall for them to just take that thing and just turn it into just a full-on mess. Because
Yeah.
wait, hold on, there's another person coming out now. Who is this?
It ain't Finn Balor.
It's Daniel Bryan.
Oh wow.
So Daniel Bryan has come out to challenge Kenny Omega. That, I don't know how I didn't see that coming. But he's Bryan Danielson now. So I tell you what, people, I'm probably going to be taking full advantage of that. What's that thing? The Labor Day sale. If they post some new shirts tonight, 20% off. ProWrestlingTees.com. Go ahead and pick yourself up a T-shirt.
So is he going to go back as the American Dragon?
I mean, even I have shirts on there nowadays, so they're open to everybody. But yeah, go ahead and definitely pick up something.
So is he going back to the American Dragon?
I don't know. I missed part of the video thing, but probably. Man, that's crazy that, you would think they space out the debuts, but it kind of made sense that both of these would happen right in the same time. So all in all, a pretty good night for AEW,
Yeah, sounds like a solid show they had.
Oh yeah, they closed up some things, started some new things, put some stuff into some interesting directions. So yeah, because I think Full Gear is probably is it Full Gear? I think Full Gear is their next pay-per-view. If I recall correctly, probably around like November, something like that. So, yeah, this is shaping up to be pretty all right. And I know, like, again, like giving the fans what they want, that's what they're all about. Send them home happy. Unlike that time I went to Royal Rumble 2015 and Roman Reigns won, and then everybody was sad. Even Mick Foley wrote about it. He's like, I've never seen so many sad people walking out of a building.
No, I would have to say Hell in a Cell when Seth Rollins, they stopped the match because Seth Rollins was smashing the Fiend's head with underneath the ladder or something.
Wait, oh yeah, like the cell match that they stopped with?
Yeah, another pissed off moment for Mick Foley.
Man, so it looks like in some ways it might be Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole first. Like that could be an interesting match though.
Yeah.
For sure. Because if it's not Daniel Bryan and Kenny Omega, which wouldn't make sense because, I feel like they'd want to at least build up to something, but
right.
Either way it goes, it's like whether it's Bryan or Danielson and Omega or Cole, it's a tough one to call as far as how that's going to play out. But the good thing about that is it makes you interested to continue watching. It's not just like, oh man, we're going to have Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre for the 3,000th time.
Well, I think AEW's pacing has been good for the most part. Like, at least for the last 2 years, I think they've done good pacing, and they're not oversaturating you with one or two particular star every show or every week.
Right. And that's what I do like, that they do switch people in and out, you know.
Yeah, and, I mean, even with the Malachi Black situation, I'm kind of glad he wasn't on the show.
Yeah,
because there's not really he is not hurting his momentum so to say.
No, I mean, and looking back at it, looking at everything that happened, that probably would have been a lot for like the one show, right? Because you kind of would have had to rush a storyline to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
So, but at this point, though, it's good that they have the multiple shows, because with Dynamite and Rampage seemingly being equals, I mean, Dynamite's always going to be like the flagship, but hopefully
Rampage is kind of like a recap.
Yeah, hopefully it's not like, I don't know, because I always felt like Thunder was a very inferior show. Like, it was just like that other one, you know?
Right.
So hopefully these are more on the same level. Kind of like how Raw and SmackDown, well, then again, Raw is just bad. SmackDown is actually pretty good, but they're meant to be on the same level. You know what I mean? It's not like when you look at Raw and then you look at like Sunday Night Heat.
Well, I mean, there was a time they were trying with Sunday Night Heat.
Man, did I ever see?
He started off with some good matches.
I mean, it had its moments. I mean, honestly, like an episode of Sunday Night. Remember that gauntlet match that gauntlet sneaker battle thing I did a while ago with BX and whoever else? That was inspired by one of my few memories of Sunday Night Heat. So I think it was like Ahmed Johnson fought the Nation in a gauntlet match, and that's where the idea came from for that sneaker battle, actually. So a little bit of trivia for you.
And the crazy thing is, what it was. Oh man, I thought of it just then. Sunday Night Heat. What they had up? That was a WWE title match they had on. What it was, the Sunday Night Heat for the Super Bowl, where they did like during the halftime.
The empty arena one.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Weird stipulation to a match, honestly, but I think it was a thing that they used to do, and Jim Cornette was talking about it. I feel like it was something that was done years ago. Not regularly, but it was kind of just an old stipulation. Seems weird, though, still, honestly. So CM Punk and Omega is your dream match, huh? I mean, if we're going straight up dream matches, you know, just I'm going to put reality to the side. I want to see Kurt Angle versus Bret Hart when they were both kind of at their peak, because that would have been pretty awesome.
I feel like I kind of got that seeing a lot of Benoit and Kurt Angle matches.
You know, that is a good point, but it'd just be different in the sense that, and then you can't argue with this, but like the intensity that Benoit brought and the intensity that Bret Hart brought were a little different.
Right.
But from a technical standpoint, I totally see where your head is. But yeah, it would have been cool, especially like if people could have just been adults and worked out things, and Bret Hart stayed in the WWF in '97. That could have been a good thing in some ways, in a lot of ways.
Sound like a what if episode.
I mean, yeah, because he would have. I mean, Bret Hart was always like an older guy, right? Like as far as like the general age of the locker room. So I'm not saying he would have stayed as long as like Shawn Michaels or Undertaker, whatever. but he probably could have got a good number of other matches in over the next I can say 5 to 7 years, probably. If he had
he probably would have capped out around 2002, maybe
yeah.
3.
So that's about right. Because 97 plus 5, yeah. So 2000, yeah. So I'm saying 2002 to 2004, I guess. Because I would just figure 5 to 7 probably be about it. And
Right.
you have a good strong run for a few years, and then kind of slow down and maybe have some big matches here and there. And he would have avoided the whole Goldberg thing, which is another reason that Goldberg sucks. So he would have avoided that. Probably could have got Owen Hart out of doing other things, and maybe he'd still be around too. So yeah, man, could have been. Would that have been enough to completely change the landscape of professional wrestling? I mean, I don't know. It's like the whole butterfly flapping its wings thing, but it would have at least made for some nice moments that the wrestling fans would have enjoyed. Definitely can say that.
Yeah, I mean, somebody would probably say it took for Brett to leave, and unfortunately, Owen to die for others to rise. That's the sad part about it.
Yeah, right. And I can't believe it's still crazy to me how that whole thing just if there was ever a person that said they were cursed, I could see it being Bret Hart.
You guys, yeah.
But oh well. But all right, it's been a good time though. Probably wrap this up. That pay-per-view ran a lot longer than I expected to. It's like midnight now, which means I've been on here for about 3 hours and 51 minutes. So yeah, it's been a while since I've done one of these long lives. It's been a long while. It's good to know I still got it though, just in case I ever need to. But I appreciate you stopping in, sharing a few words, and hope everything kind of picks up over there. Things get back to some kind of normalcy,
Yeah. Hopefully I can. Well, I'll probably squeeze another video out on my archive later this week. But
yeah, what am I doing? I got some more shorts that are going up. I'm trying to get caught up on all that stuff. Oh man, it's
what was the last one I looked at? I think it was the Air Mag, not the 20. It was one of your shorts. I forgot which one it was.
Oh, yeah, those have not all of them, but overall, those have been doing fairly well. People are actually watching that stuff. I mean, I think people are going into it with a different mindset because I realized later that the shorts are kind of geared towards I think a lot of people are just looking at those for something that's going to be some short, funny video or whatever, something to go viral. And I'm just talking about the shoes that I wore for that day. So people are probably coming in with an expectation that they should not have. I mean, every now and then there's a joke to be made in there or something. But yeah, I think some people are, might be leaving disappointed. But ultimately, though, people are watching them. I just kind of wish they would, if you're going to watch that, maybe go watch the actual review. Because if you watch because you're not getting out of that minute for the most part. But it's something to do. But all right, man. Again, thank you for your time. Definitely appreciate it. As you always know, you're welcome whenever.
Appreciate you having me on, man. Shouts out to everybody in the chat.
Yep. I think the numbers are dwindling. I think people are kind of moving away. But yeah, man, I'll probably do another live, and I don't know. I don't have any shoes coming in anytime soon, so it might be another week or two.
Yeah, UPS is not delivering no package around here no time soon.
Oh yeah, so
yeah, all my packages are delayed and actually indefinitely right now until we get this whole situation straight down here.
Man, that's the least of most people's worries, obviously, but it still does suck though.
Yeah, I'm just fortunate. Like I said, it could be worse. I'd rather no lights than a couple other people around here. Circumstances they don't even have homes to go to. So I mean, I'm blessed in a sense. So I'll take whatever blessing I can get at this time.
Exactly, and that's good on you. I mean, I know you've always been a level-headed guy because I know a lot of people. It's all just like, this is what's going on with me, and this is why everything sucks. Like, there's always something worse going on for somebody, probably even somebody you actually know and care about. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
I just seen a man lose his life over the simplest thing. So I mean, you gotta have a level head and be calm about certain things, man. Like, life is not that, it's serious, but it's not that serious, man.
Right. And then the serious things tend to be the things people kind of overlook, you know?
Right. Like, we're all going through something at the end of the day.
Right. So respect that somebody's got their own struggle you don't know about, and just be careful how you talk about yours, right?
Right.
But all right, man. Again, it's always good catching up with you. You got to start doing it more often.
Oh, likewise.
But I'll let you go. Let you enjoy the rest of your night. Same to everybody else out there. Have a nice rest of your day, rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. Maybe we'll cross paths again soon. Again, I don't have any reviews coming up, but there's stuff in the backlog if you want to watch that. Do whatever. All right. Later, people.
Later.